Guten Tagen, Guten Morgen, and I don't know how to say it in afternoon. So anyway, good evening, afternoon, morning, etc. So this is the desk. Just a quick precursor. This was recorded, I want to say, a week or maybe 2 weeks prior to Road to Glory. So keep that in mind. There may be some dated references, but not particularly. This is a historical recap. A lot of stuff happened on this podcast, so there needed to be heavy editing, which is why it's taken so long to just kind of get to nuts and bolts. We have a bit of a history lesson. Then there's an accident of great proportion, which swerves the podcast in a different direction for a little while, and then in the middle, rather, and then at the end, we get right back to the historical facts and all that good stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. It was a wonderful undertaking. Shout out to Bingy for taking all the time to delve into the annals of history. There's a lot more to come with history. We'll be doing most of the generations, and as the generations proceed, they'll get easier because we have more content to delve through, rather, and more up to the minute stuff you can take a look at. So anyway, that's my spiel. Enjoy the show. If you're a history enthusiast, or if you just like to hear us talk or hear me talk, you should. My voice is velvety smooth. Enjoy.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of The Desk. Good morning. My name is JCS, the owner, founder, ruler, grand poobah of OCWFED. And its subsidiaries, listener discretion is strongly advised. Today with me, I have a large panel of people in the very early morning, which I came late to, so just call me Jason Valmont, if you will, or even Jay Golden, which is more hilarious. Sorry, Trey, go fuck yourself. With me today, we have a cornucopia of personalities you may or may not like, and I could give rats of an ass. First and foremost, we have the owner of DNS and the man with my CC information, which I probably shouldn't say in public because he can just be compromised and then the whole ship can be brought down. We have Jim. Say hello.
Good morning, everyone.
With me is it a 77-time OCW world champion and the living legend, the GOAT of the GTs and everything your nightmares come fathomed. It's Nate Ortiz, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Jesus Christ. It just bombs right through the speakers. And last but certainly not least, it is the one and only also legend, and my favorite, can't say that on whatever we're platforming. Anyway, it's Bingy B17. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Nice energy there, buddy. For some reason,
I was gonna run with your whole favorite something. I'm like, he's right. I can't run with that.
Yeah. Yours is at the peak. It is kind of low, so I got to keep the desktop volume higher, and I'll just lower Jim and Theo. All right, so yeah, essentially, if you've probably been living under a rock, I've been whatever for the past couple of weeks on 2009. So B17 has done his due diligence and painstakingly gone through the archives of probably, if not the truly number one worst year in online championship wrestling. Remember, we've been here since 2004. This will be in October because I don't know how to count our 21st year, not even our 20th year. It's season 20 technically, but it is our 21st year in October. So it's been a hot minute. So with that, as we, have everything now all produced and fantabulous and sometimes excessively long segments, there was a time where we had no segments. And we're going to go through history because history is fun when you look at it and see maybe potentially reoccurring patterns, maybe just see how things were and see how we can avoid ever having that kind of shit again, especially in the year of 2025. Obviously, we're not having that now, but I'm just saying it's fun to look back at these things and see what happened. Anyway, so with that, I'll say that my recollection of things is a bit foggy. I do know my general crux of what happened with '09, so I'll say, I'll open it with this, and then B17 can confirm or deny. Long story short, I was pushed by a few members of OCW to add a UFC-based or MMA-based portion to OCW. So they assumed, let's just have a little sub-forum on the forums, and, we can have a little UFC league like OCW. But me being full of youth, vigor, no hair, obviously, I don't mind, and grandiose ideas, and depression, I said, let's go. I basically decided to make an entire league, and that was a league that Cass was not in. He was in the rival league that was there with actual professionals like a month prior, so I was late to the party. Anyway, long story short, we built OCF, which is Online Championship Fighting. It was basically an offshoot of OCW. I wanted it to be the same thing, but it didn't, but we'll get to that later. Long story short, I delegated control to various people, and Bingy can basically run that down. But anyway, either way, you've done a lot of work. I've talked a bit for a second, so now it's your turn. Take us in. It's all you. Go for it, Bingy.
Okay. So you started talking about the league that you create and stuff, and I think anyone who's ever talked to me or listened to me talk knows that I don't like 09, so I kind of went into 09 with a very negative mindset. And I actually have slightly I've slightly warmed to 09, but for slightly different reasons than saying it's good or anything like that. I don't think 09 had any chance to be good for multiple reasons. It was doomed from the start almost. And that's what I want to talk about first. I want to talk about how 09 was pretty much doomed from the start before I start getting into who's there and what's going on and whatnot. So let's talk about the fact that you kind of packed your bags and left, and this was your absentee dad status with OCW. So you exit the picture, you go off and you start running this other league, and I don't have any idea how that league went. You can talk about that in a bit, but you left Power with essentially Leon, Smythe, and Muge is gonna love that, and Nate Ortiz. You left those three people essentially in charge. There's other names that are gonna pop up and around, and we'll talk about them when it gets to that point. But those are the three who are essentially in charge and running OCW during that time. And Nate is kind of trying to fade out. He's trying to leave, and I'll ask him like what his reasoning for that was and what he was trying to do and why he was trying to do what he's doing. But the point is, the two main people that you leave in charge are not well suited for running a league. Smythe and Leon, that wasn't their wheelhouse. That's not what they were good at. So that right there is already, OCW is in a really bad position. And then the other thing, and this is something I don't understand, so I have to ask you guys about it. It sounds like the game was one of the worst games possible for OCW. So this is where I need either yourself or Nate or even Jim, because I know Jim's more aware of the games back then. The game during this time was not good. What was it that made this game so terrible, though?
So I can toss it over to Nate because he actually competed. I didn't have 09 until like maybe midway through the season as well. Nate, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think the main issue with the game was just that you had to go into like the story mode of the game and kind of pretty much sim through the game and hope your stats ended up where you wanted them to be. You couldn't just go in and pick your set and kind of set it up the way you wanted. So it just made it extra frustrating there. And then like now we have like the paybacks and stuff like that, but there were like styles back then as well. And those kind of messed a little bit with the competitive balance. Like I remember like we had the double red rule, but then there's like the hardcore, like that style of the game would get you back from double red to like orange, like on a butter. And there was like stuff like that that kind of messed with the balance of the game as well. Like outside of that, like the base, like reversals and that stuff was kind of the same, but it was those little things that just made it difficult. Like if you messed up your stats, they were just messed up. I think our overall was like 81.
Yeah.
But if your stats ended up at like 82, 83, it was just like, oh, I'm not going to spend, 6, 7 hours going through that again.
Yeah, that was that's what I remember Guy specifically said that. He actually, I think in 09, he had more than one character. I think he just had 2. Usually he has maybe 3 or whatever. But given the fact that some names show up that I remember being alternatives for Fausto, I guess he did go back into the well and make another character. But yeah, your stats got messed up. That was it, and people were just like, "I'm not doing this again." And I'm like, "All right, man, knock yourself out. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm mixed martial art dude." Anyway, Bingy, continue.
Well, that became a huge problem because it's when standards started slipping, and now we'll start to get into some more inflammatory commentary. People would disregard rules, and like for example, you said that guy he simmed through and he got his stats and stuff. Now I don't know for
it was
a fact
82. He wound up accidentally hitting 82 from when he was 80. He won the match or whatever, and then the point knocked him to 82 or some shit. Because as far as I can remember, I'm not 100% sure. Just now we can not. I don't want to get into that part deeply, but like when you would set your stats, it wouldn't say like when you were done, like, oh, this is where you'll be. You just like, oh, hey, I need this and this. I need like a point of defense and a point of maybe striking, and then you hit it, and then that's done. Sometimes it would change your numbers, sometimes it wouldn't. So you just kind of little by little. So he did that, and he got 82, and he's like, I'm not doing this again. I'm like, all right, knock yourself. Don't worry about it. But continue.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. There's multiple people that are doing this, and they're like, look, I'm not going through this and dealing with this shit again. So you have, I wouldn't say a huge number of people that have the wrong overall, but it gets mentioned multiple times in the forums that, hey, I'm not going back, I'm not going through this, I'm not redoing this. And one of the people that has a really big issue that pops up throughout the entire year is KD. KD has resiliency on, and he's not supposed to have resiliency on. And it gets talked about at the beginning of the year, and it gets talked about at the end of the year, and it gets talked about him removing it. So through half the year, he has stats that he's not supposed to have, and he's actually one of the people that finds themselves in the main event. So throughout the entire card, you have people who are not following the rules. Can you imagine Cass being told, look, I'm not going back and resubmitting my stuff here? He'd suspend you. He'd be like, no, you're going to go back, you're going to redo this. So when that starts to happen, people start to slide and they get a little shady on the construction of their cause and stuff, and they get called out in public forums, and shit happens. Nothing happens. Leon goes on tirades. He yells at people. I mean, his yelling is not really much of anything at all. Exactly. So he gets mad at people. He's like, I will fucking suspend you if you do this one more time. And then 2 weeks later, someone's doing it again. They're like, oh, guys, please stop fucking doing this. I really... Oh, please. It's like...
Oh, poor guy.
He was in a position where he was going to fail, but everybody around him, like the standards just started to drop and stuff, and people were ignoring his rules, or whoever's rules, and not listening to it. So that is a common theme throughout 09. People are not listening to the expectations, to the rules and stuff. And Guy, for all points and intents, like, he seems to be the guy in many cases during this time frame. Even he's kind of like, I'm not, I don't really want to redo all this shit. So you can see how that would lead to KD saying, well, then I'm going to have this. And then you can see how this would lead to Dane saying, well, I'm going to do this. Jesus. And it just completely cascades upon itself. So all of this, in order for me to say this properly, all of this is your fault.
Oh, yeah.
All of this is your fault.
Yeah. We're not supposed to fucking plausibly deny? No. It's definitely, I did but the thing is, I was on the assumption that I wasn't there at all, but I was doing I did the pay-per-views. I'm pretty sure can you confirm, did I book the pay-per-views as well?
You were involved in the booking of pay-per-views,
okay.
But other people were talking about it as well. So the names that are going to pop up here, and I'll go through them real quick. Leon, Smythe, Nate, and I forgot to ask Nate about why he's trying to exit stage right. Guy gets involved near the end of
RD Money
gets involved. RD Money's involved. RD Money kind of pops up here and there. He comes up more at the end of the year, and he's pissed off. He is irate about how things are going in OCW. And then your biggest mistake actually happens right as 10 rolls around here. But we'll talk about that because you put Trips, the worst fucking champion in OCW history, one of the biggest pains in the asses that I've ever had the privilege of reading. You put him into a position of power, and he gets put onto staff as well, which has to be...
We got to go in order. Let's
one of your most fucking terrible decisions of all time.
Look. All right, we this is why I gave you all this extra time. We gotta go in some kind of orders instead of jumping around a little bit. But I do. All right, so I do remember you said that 08 was at the last time we spoke in the previous podcast. You said that 08 started off hot and then it started tapering off, and then that led into the bleed of 09. So you want to cover any of that?
All right, you're right. I'll go in order here.
Yeah, we gotta go in order. I know. You've been through the fucking trenches for almost 4 weeks. I know. That's why we gotta get it all out.
All right. So This question's for Nate then, because this is how 08 ends. 08 ends with Nate Ortiz fighting Leon for the OCW title. And I'm actually going to talk about some other titles a little bit more. We're going to talk about the OCW title, obviously, as well. But Leon, he defeats Nate Ortiz in a buried alive match. Nate Ortiz appears about 2 months later. He just pops out of nowhere and he aligns himself with Bloodline. So I was so confused. I'm reading through this and Leon's like, yes, I buried Nate Ortiz. And the next show, Nate Ortiz is back. So that's how 08 ends. 08 ends with Nate Ortiz getting buried. 09 begins with Leon bragging about how he buried Nate Ortiz and Nate Ortiz just fucking appearing. Like nothing happened. So.
Wait. I thought you said it was two. I thought you said he appeared 2 months later. Is that incorrect or?
Well, you guys take the break, right?
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, so basically we ended with him being buried alive. We had our break, which was what? The break was 2 months?
December 13th is your last pay-per-view. It's Chill Factor 08. You guys come back sometime in January, so a month.
Oh, okay.
A month later.
So basically,
that's even worse.
Yeah, so basically like the first show back. Okay, no, you're right. That makes sense. Okay. Nate, you got anything to add to that, buddy? He might be dealing with the kids. I have no. Okay, you
dealing
get,
with the kids.
Yeah. Can you add to that?
Yeah, no. That's actually being gone a month after being buried alive is better than the first time I did it. So, but it was more so. I think just because it was like a month and just the way we were doing things, it was just like, you got to continue the stories and what we were doing. That's kind of just how it was. It was because, like, during that time, the Buried Alive match was because we used to do, like, the voting for the matches for Chill Factor.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
So that's what was voted on.
Oh,
And
God.
so it was just like, I'm not going to let that ruin, like, what we had planned going forward. So it's just kind of it in that sense. And I think that time, I don't know why I wanted to go heel, so that's why I started like aligning with the bloodline and whatnot. And that's just kind of how that was.
So it's funny you say bloodline, and some people will be stupid and be like, but no, we got it first, bitch, just like we did Inner Circle. You're fucking welcome. Anyway, back to the action. Bingy, continue.
So that point aside, I really interpreted it as we went into 09 and there were so many people who were dipping out and there wasn't really much in the way of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of looked at that and said, okay, that's probably why Nate decided to, come back after this brief, hiatus and stuff. He messaged me. He's like, he's the guy who can't be destroyed. I'm like, yeah, it's appropriate. So, Nate Ortiz comes back. He aligns with Bloodline and stuff. But Leon actually goes on what at this time and for quite some time is going to be considered probably not probably. This has the most defenses of the OCW title for quite some time. So this is 08. He manages to defend it 6 separate times.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really successful. Like Leon is obviously really, really good at this game and stuff. And the problem is there's not really anybody surrounding him that's on the same level because Nate kind of comes back in this authority figure role and he doesn't he competes a little bit, but it's not really him driving the forces in the main event. Leon is dealing with less quality of opponents and stuff. And the more time I spend taking a look at 09, I kind of get to this, like, it's hard to directly compare, but the one thing I feel that you can fairly say is a good judgment, a good barometer of OCW is who are the people in the main event and who is challenging in the main event for the OCW title or for the CCW title during this time. So we'll talk about the people that are going to become champion after this, but let's just take a look at during Leon's reign. Here are the people that he defeats. And you can tell me if these names stand out to you, if you like these names or not. So I'm curious, how do you respond to his defense record being Vincent Valmont, Dino Horse, Chris Mania, Dino, Valmont, Ortiz pops up, and then Smythe at Resolution.
Oh, you're missing one. Remember, there was also Leon Amart on the wait. Yeah, Leon Amart
no.
on the. Oh no, that doesn't count.
That was because Leon became a double champion at that time, and I went
Oh.
back through it. It was referenced to be a title match for the OCW Championship. It was actually for the Pride title instead. That was the defense. Yes.
I thought it was for
So,
both. Okay, my bad. My bad.
I thought it was too, and I went back, I looked back, and it seems to be that it was for the Pride. So I put the defense of Anthony Martin underneath the Pride title, and I took away a defense. So it used to be at 7 defenses, it's at 6 defenses.
Okay, so he did Pride on the Monday, and then he did a Fatal 4-Way of Pride the next Monday. It was a 4-way. Okay,
like
all right. So caliber of opponents. Give me the list one by one more time so I can respond in kind. Sorry, because you kind of went a little fast.
I'm sorry. I'm really excited.
It's fine. Good. No. Get it out. It's fine.
All right. So Vincent Valmont.
Okay. So Vincent Valmont at the time, as far as I can remember, I do believe, although the Valmont beatdown was a thing, and although he was boring to tears, and although he may or may not have been implicated in one of the worst OCW ideas in modern, in that history era, I won't mention it, but I think stick wise, I'm gonna say I think he was solid. Next.
Okay, I agree. Vincent Valmont was pretty solid at this time. His downfall happens a little bit later in this year.
Mm-hmm.
He fights Dino Horse, who I don't know much about.
All right, him I do remember. All right, so the best analogy for Dino would be, for people who are current in OCW would be, he was essentially like Justin Jess, Rick Rude. Wasn't the greatest behind the sticks, but as a handler, fucking solid dude. Super nice guy, really good, agreeable, did whatever. Stick-wise, not the greatest, but he had the thing where people wanted to see him win. That's why Nate feuded with him at one of the Lucians. I don't remember which one. It was probably this one or the next, whatever. So, yeah, he was a good egg. So that was one of those, like, given an opportunity. Next person.
Chris Mania.
So Mania. So this is coming after we had the indie show where Chris had the I think at the time it was the longest was the 187 or 170 something. It was 100 and something plus whatever. As what I think it was international. Not 100% sure. And anyway, so that built him some cachet as a solid dude. When Leon took it from him, that was one of the story threads. Is like, now it was his time to take something from Leon, like maybe like a year or two later or whatever. Mania on the sticks was not awful. I would call him like middle tier maybe. His finisher was over as fuck. CFC clothesline from Cardiff. Used to love that shit. So Spoon, wasn't a top guy, I don't think, but he was he was one of the like. It's trying to give you an example that would make sense today. Let's see for Chris Mania. Who can we use? I can't think of an appropriate like the whole package, but like think of a mid slightly upper level guy that you want to have, and that would be what Chris Mania. No. John is a monster on the sticks. Mania was not. Mania he was good, but he was not great, if that makes any sense. So I can't think of some.
He was always on the bridge.
Yeah, there you go. He was on the precipice. So maybe we'll call him Devin Flash. Ooh, it's gonna make his stomach hurt. We'll call him like Devin Flash. Next one, bingo.
It starts to repeat. After Chris Mania, he goes back to Dino again.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. All right.
And then he fights Valmont again.
Oh, there we go. That's 2. 2 and 2. Next.
He fights Nate Ortiz, and this one was random. It popped up. It wasn't scheduled. It wasn't announced. It was something that got referenced randomly after it gets referenced after Lucian, and I like scramble and go back like, where the hell is this match? And that's another thing that's happening during this time. There is a shit ton of matches that don't get done. Wait, I gotta stop. No, pause. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Holy fuck.
All right.
Okay. So he fights Nate Ortiz. And then there's not really much to say about that one. That one's kind of been lost to time. I'll ask Nate about that, I guess. Nate, do you remember fighting Leon right before Lucian?
It was not a real match. It was like
segment.
Yeah, segment more stuff.
Okay.
I was aligned with Smythe at the time he's feuding with Leon. So it's just kind of to push the story.
Got you.
Got
Look
it.
at you being a utility player. All right, continue, Bingy.
And then he fights Smythe in the main event of Resolution. And I gotta tell you, Jay, I went and I watched this match. I went and I watched quite a few matches from 09. And it was bad.
Okay.
Leon beat the piss out of Smythe. Like, just fucking raffle stopped him, man. It's like, and it was, oh my god, it was so terrible too because Smythe was this character who's like, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Like he had this really slimy, spiteful, arrogant, in character, out of character. Like the way he held himself, he was, I don't like him.
So
And then Leon Raffle stopped the fuck out of him. It was great. It was amazing.
So quick comparison for you comparison based people. Smythe was, I do believe, from Toronto. And Smythe was very much Canadian. Who does that remind you of? It might remind you of Benjamin Cito Goldfarb, or maybe
Broski.
even the other one, Broski Kroski, Junko Chiro. All you motherfuckers from Toronto are the same, but yes. So Smythe got the brakes beat off of him. He also got the brakes beat off of by Dupree a year later or so. We'll talk about that when we do Ambition next episode or whenever the fuck we decide to do it. But yeah, Bingo, continue. I apologize.
No, I mean that's. We'll talk about how he loses the title and stuff, but during this resolution, something very, very important happens.
Okay.
That kind of fundamentally changes the rest of OCW, and maybe even sends OCW into a bit of a spiral here.
All right.
So Vincent Valmont wins the FI
Okay.
at Resolution. So he wins that, and then he's actually going to be the one who defeats Leon. He successfully goes on to cash in the FI on Leon. Just about 2 weeks later, at End Games.
Mm-hmm.
So he defeats Leon and he takes the title and stuff. And this is where things really fall off the rails. So when you go back and you look at Leon is, it seems like Leon and Nate are both. I'm removing myself from like the title picture. Like it's time for other people to step up and do things. And this is going to create the worst. Have you ever seen Clue? Flames on the side of my face.
So you're saying it's going to create a vacuum, perhaps?
It is the worst timeline in OCW history. The next three champions read Vincent Valmont, Trevor McManus, Vincent Valmont. And it's terrible. So it's terrible because
There you go. Why?
the people that get involved as well. Okay, so Trips is going to go on and defeat Vincent Valmont. And Trips shouldn't have been in the match, but he is bitching and moaning on the forums nonstop about, oh, they're just giving out title shots. I deserve a title shot. And he's threatening to quit. He's threatening to leave. He's calling people out left, right, and center. He's saying things are unfair. It's not fair for him. He deserves the opportunity. He essentially bitches and moans his way to a title shot. He gets that title shot and he wins. He then goes on to defend that belt against Vincent Valmont and KD in probably one of the worst reviewed matches I have ever seen on the forums. And it causes a fucking shitstorm. He gets intentionally disqualified against KD and Valmont, and KD has the wrong stats. Valmont is like, we have to do better, we have to be better, I'm going to be the better person and everything like that. And Trips is like, look what I did, I have the title, fuck you all. And it's so bad, like this match is so bad that you guys actually run it back. Like the triple threat is a sham. It's bullshit. It's nobody is happy with it. So they actually do a complete rematch of Trevor McManus versus Valmont versus KD again on a Riot. Not long after that, like a week later, they run the same thing back again because like you can't do this. You can't get disqualified like this, and like that was a sham. He loses it to Valmont, and he throws a temper tantrum. Like Trips throws a temper tantrum. He's like, "I'm done. This is bullshit. I don't like you people. You people are unfair to me. Blah blah blah."
Does he mean the community or staff? We never discussed that. Who does he mean specifically?
No, he's mad at staff. He's mad at the OCW community because the OCW community is just pouring on him. People are saying, people are going back and forth. There's a lot of slang being used that can't be used nowadays. That's not appropriate to be used nowadays, Jesus, and he's a big reason for it. Guy is constantly calling him out and telling him Parker and Trips are going back and forth nonstop. KD is arguing with everybody, and Vincent Valmont he's there, and he's like, no, we can do better. I'm going to save OCW. He's holding the I'm going to save OCW stick, right? It's terrible. It's absolutely fucking god awful. I hated every moment of trying to read through this bullshit. So Vincent Valmont goes on to hold it. He's going to defend against Aries and Guy Fausto. He's going to lose it, and we'll stop here for a little bit with the OCW title. He eventually loses it back to Leon, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because there's some major bullshit that happens with that. So I've been talking on and off for quite some time here about just the OCW title. I have a shit ton of more things I can talk about, but I want to turn it back over to you guys for like, you guys got questions? You have things that you need clarified or anything that you're curious about?
For the most part, as long as you're following the timeline, I'm good. Remember, you're the one that did most of this research. All I really have is my fucking memory. And I do, like, I in my head, I feel like while I wasn't actively doing the day-to-day, at least I did the pay-per-views and I did pop in, I want to say weekly, but it's not. I post in booking it like once or twice a month. I think, not including pay-per-views. Correct?
You posted in the forums like 3 or 4 times. Of like one time you just posted in there essentially laughing at somebody, and then quiet.
At any point did I like post on the actual main stuff and be like, "Hey, you guys got to cut the shit"? No, right?
No, RD Money does that.
Oh God, Theo, you want to add anything? You got anything to bring to this at the moment?
No, like right now, like as we're going, it seems from what I can remember, just again, like during that time, I think that year I was just kind of trying to phase out of OCW completely, like to focus on school and like graduate and stuff. So I just was kind of there. I was kind of, because you had went away to OCW or OC fight or whatever. Yeah. So I was just literally, I'm like just trying to keep the place afloat.
Was it college or was it high school? I don't remember.
College, yeah. I was trying to like finish college and like do more social stuff.
All right. Let me toss it to Jim real quick because we only heard from you for like we haven't heard from you in like 30 minutes. Jim, what do you think thus far about what's happening and like what lessons could be learned up until this point, potentially? Because you're very introspective, and I apologize. Go ahead.
So that's okay. So interestingly enough, kind of like going through, and I watched like Summerside 2009, for example. I think that people don't realize that like to do matches and to have matches, they were like marathon matches back then. They were seriously marathons. So I think introspectively that's one of the things that I really looked at was like the matches were marathons. And like, I actually had an interesting question I was going to ask Adam, if you had to take one event from 2009 that defined 2009 kind of like as an overarching thing, what would that event be and why? Like I'm talking about anything. I'm not just talking about a match. Maybe something happened in the forum, something. Like the one thing that defines 2009 overall. So if people were like getting the cliff notes on this, what would that be? One event be? That's what I want to know. That's my question.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pull it up here because I have it, and I'm ready to. I'll get to it. So you go ahead and finish answering Jay's question. I'm gonna pull up the thing that I feel best represents what '09 was all about while you go ahead and answer that, because I do have it. It's something I got.
Really the summation of all of this is, again, kind of piggybacking off the fact that like we have an active and engaged Jay in 2025 that we did not have in 2009. I was going to joke that 2009 Jay is what I accused B17 of being. But I just figured I'd get that one in too. But that, look, as far as it went, the matches were all slogs. There's no way, we were talking pre-show, like there's no good way of doing an apples to apples comparison from a 2009 match versus a 2025 match, for example. It's just not the same things. And going back to the game, I did play WWE back then, obviously not in OCW. So I do remember how much of a slog it was to like kind of create a character, and it was like this leveling that in terms of staff and people who do things and what they do, that clearly we didn't have in 2009, and it became the wild, wild west out here, like trying to claim territories and stuff.
I like that, claim territory. We'll talk about that in a second. Bingy, you may continue, and as you said, yes, it is all my fault. And yeah, no, oddly enough, at this time, OCF was making. So here's the funny part. So while I may have neglected OCW, obviously, the money I made from OCF was directly sent back to OCW. So I was making back, because remember we had you don't remember, but we had like fight camp forums. So I think they were $75 a pop, and I think you have 4 people or whatever it was. It was very, very DLC, and people chalked up the fucking money. Yo, we want a fight camp. Oh, you want a fight camp? You got a fight camp. Pay up, motherfucker. So people would all put in like $10. It would be like whatever, and then $75 a pop on top of some other shit. So that fucking thing was ring, and that shit just went right back to OCW. So fuck y'all. I didn't even get no tacos with that money, motherfucker. That shit went right back to OCW. But yeah,
it's like take it from one kid and give it to another.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, hey man, you want to mow the lawn? Yeah, there you go. But no, it was just, the funny thing is, a lot of the top people from OCW went to OCF. So like they were fine, but like I wanted OCF to be OCW, but with MMA. But the problem with OCF is that MMA nerds are very, very annoying. So just think acoustically cast, but way worse. So like I remember there was this one dude who was I made the mistake of asking for feedback on the front page, and this one fucking can't say that on socials, was like, I was like, this little motherfucker's like just working my last nerve of like talking, and I'm like, oh, so what your experience level is, and they're like, oh, I've never done any of this. I'm like, so why the fuck are you like trying to talk like you know what you like, yo? So that was a fucking thing. And then like OCF became like, they had meta builds, so people just went from having dynamic fun builds to just, I think it was Muay Thai and boxing or some shit like that, or whatever. Cass would know what it was, but it was just one template from the thing, and that's what all the matches became. And no one would build up their fight. Everyone just wanted to fight like nonstop, because I would try to like, oh hey, you guys are booked this week, and people would just like, oh, I want more, like what the fuck. So it's like it wasn't sustained. I wanted like entertaining UFC, maybe some stories and pure fighting. These fucking bums just wanted to cheat each other, and that slowly just fucking like wore me. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers, these guys stink. This guy, and then the people from OCW that were in OCF, they kind of like yeah, this isn't great, like Bolek would say. And then since 09 stunk, they're like, yeah, well, we're taking a break, and it's like, yeah, no, I get it. Like fuck this place too. Like it's just whatever. But we're not there yet. Bingy, continue.
Okay, so you guys have 2 choices here. I can start talking about what Jim has mentioned, like the defining characteristics, and that kind of allows me to go off on a different tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can finish up talking about the history of like the titles and stuff for an overview of OCW during this time. I fear that if I talk about what Jim wants me to talk about, we're never going to get back to the championships. But I have it pulled up.
So, okay, so this is what I'll say. So I'll say, try to surmise the championship bit, and then I guess we can get into the juicy shit, because I know like none of us are professionals in regards to like relaying information. So I know we kind of gone off a little tangent. So the overarching story so far is kind of like the title picture has been kind of a shit show. the people are just at each other's throats. I'm not around. The people in charge are inadequate, so we can get to the juicier bits after the championship. So try to summarize the championship picture, and then we can talk about Jim, and then we can go from there. The thing is, I just want to make sure that all your work gets used on the podcast, because I know you were doing a lot of fucking research, but at the same time, we can't be here for 17 hours. But I do want to get as much of your information as possible, because you did a lot of work, and that needs to be presented as such. But take it away, Bingy.
Okay, I'm going to do this pretty quickly then. I'll finish up with the OCW Championship. Leon goes on to win the championship back from Vincent Valmont. I don't think anybody could say that Leon wasn't probably the best on the sticks at this time. His character, not particularly great. He really develops into, and I always thought this was overstated, like he develops and takes what was happening on the past Raw or SmackDown, and then he uses it in his promo, and it was absolutely 100% true. He 100% did that, and it was kind of funny to read. So he wins it, and the last thing that happens with the OCW title before the end of 2009 is Chris Ryder actually wins the title at a Sensational Tribute 09, and he does it, December 30th, 09, and he wins it by a roll-up, and this is a really big surprise. Chris Ryder was kind of somebody who was in the X division for quite some time, had some runs, disappeared, came back. So that was a really big moment that some people really liked, some people didn't. Okay, International Championship. The International Championship at this time, going into 09, it is held by Aries. Aries wins it late 08 from King James. And then he loses it January 7th on a Riot to Kip Conrad in a triple threat with Smythe as well. Dino Horse holds the international title for a little bit as well. He never defends it. Nate Ortiz actually defeats Dino Horse at Resolution 4 for the title. So Nate takes the title off of him at Resolution 4 and holds it. Nate then loses to the person who probably would have been the best on the sticks if he actually stuck around and competed regularly, and that's Guy Fausto.
Mm-hmm.
And Guy Fausto holds the title through the rest of, pretty much the rest of the year, because the title is actually going to get vacated and split. So Guy Fausto holds it for quite some time, and he has a really good feud with Parker. He and Parker have probably what I would consider the feud of the year, and they have some really good matches that are really well rated and stuff. And Guy has this really fun story of when Jay does pop up in the beginning of the year, it's all about making Guy Fausto as miserable as possible. You call him a fat nerd. You say that you want to make him miserable. You actually go on live TV and say, we must do whatever we can to make Guy Fausto as miserable as possible. And he has a unique look. He's funny about it. He tries to avoid shit as much as possible. He keeps screaming hobo fight. He doesn't want a regular match. He wants a hobo fight. He's fun. He's fun at this point. But he's not very consistently around. So the international title, it gets split. It gets split back into the NA and the TV title because those titles are gone. For all of 09, they don't really come back until the very end of it. And there'll be a thing going into 10.
Okay. There's other titles in between though. Yes.
Oh God, yes. I'm just getting warmed up here.
Okay. Sorry.
So, that's okay. Pride title gone. Okay. Riot. Okay. The tag title and the hardcore title are where you can see how much OCW was suffering during 09, because the tag titles during 09 are pretty much non-existent and no better than prop titles. So going into 09, the Bloodline has the title. The problem is the Bloodline never defends the title. Matches are getting canceled. Matches are getting scrapped. They have the title for a very long time, 239 days. They only have 4 defenses over this time. They should have had more, but like I said, things are getting screwed up. The title gets vacated.
You know who's canceling them? Sorry to cut you off.
I think people aren't showing up to the matches.
Gotcha.
On one occasion, the Air was supposed to team with somebody else. He ends up teaming with Cooper. Mm-hmm. But Air was originally supposed to team with somebody else. That match gets canceled. Trance and Aries are claiming that they are the the tag champions at this time because people from the bloodline aren't able to make it to a match, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's all sorts of confusing. I think there was a lot of scheduling issues. I think people were dipping. It was very inconsistent.
Okay.
The point is, early 2009, the titles get vacated. And then Air Coop, they win the titles on Riot, April 23rd, 2009. They defeat Nathan Gaines and Carlos Cruz to win the titles. And then they disappear from TV. They are gone. They are gone. And I'm looking everywhere for these guys. And I can't find them. It's not funny. It's terrible. I hate this.
This is such a shit show.
They disappeared. Where'd they go? Nobody knows. They disappeared.
Nobody knows. No, this was actually in an RP, a written RP at the end of 2009. I find a written RP. I'm scrolling through. I'm desperately looking for these idiots. And I find them, and I think it was Stacy Clark asking Air, where have you been? Do you still have the tag titles? Are you still the tag champions? What happened? And Air's like, it'll all be clear soon.
I remember him doing the video. I think we linked the video that like he had one of the first like whatever videos with like footage from video games and shit about being rebuilt. But I don't remember the I guess that was like the comeback thing. But I do not remember like, oh shit. All right, I'm sorry. I just remember him. I don't remember him vanishing, but I remember the video of him like, I will be coming back, and I'm like, okay, Ron. But Ron is pivotal for V4, so I don't give a fuck what he did. Good for him. Continue, Bingy.
So not long after this RP happens, where they're like, hey, where you been? Are you still the tag titles? Still the tag champions and stuff? What's happening? How are things going with you? September 1st, 2009, Nate retires the titles due to inactivity. Air Coop wins the titles April 23, 2009. They hold it for 107 days. No defenses. Nothing. Barely booked. Barely showing up on the show. So Nate just retires it. And the tag titles are gone. They're gone. They've disappeared into the ether. They are retired.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten to where they pop back up. I don't know where the tag titles pop back up. I don't think the tag division really starts to heat up until 2012 again.
Okay.
I think from this point on, from 2009 all the way through like 2012, and obviously I could be wrong because I have to read through all of it yet. I think the tag titles essentially at this point become nothing more than a glorified prompt and then are disgracefully retired from television.
Other titles, there are other titles, yes?
I'm going as fast as I can, I promise.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh
I just want to make sure you didn't forget nothing. Okay.
X title. All right, X title is, this is the Jacob Trance and Aries show and Chris Ryder show for most of 2009. Chris Ryder has the X title going into 09. Jacob Trance defeats him. Aries defeats Jacob Trance. Wonderful Wesley defeats Aries. I think there was some sort of fuckery involved with that. I don't remember. Chris Ryder ends up getting it. Chris Ryder's able to hold on for a while, but we actually go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a row with the X Division title who are unsuccessful in defending it one time. So
they win, but they don't defend?
No, they lose in their first defense.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So
wow.
they're unsuccessful.
So what you're saying is just to be clear, you win. They won, but they can't get a defense. Do they actually lose a defense, or they just don't do a defense?
No, they lose their defense. They go into the match. You know, I track the defenses by not the number of defenses you have, but the number of successful defenses you have.
Gotcha.
So everybody is listed as having a 0 defenses because they unsuccessfully defend. They lose their title to their first challenger.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that would be the opposite of the Bash, losing title shots against people. Oh, you won now, but fuck you. Anyway,
yeah, I was gonna say fuck you. I beat that narrative.
You finally just it took long enough. Okay, so who do we have as champions if you have it in front of you? Because damn, 5 is crazy.
Okay, well the 5 are Trance, Ryder, Trance, Aries, Wesley. Ryder is the first person to do some defenses successfully. Evan Knox. I don't know much about Evan Knox.
That's Leon's ult.
Okay. Evan Knox, he wins it, holds it for a little bit. Then Nate retires the title due to inactivity.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a fucking trip. All right, continue. Fuck me, dude.
So, at the end of 09, Jacob Trance wins the... This is a really quick turnaround. Like, the titles get retired. The X titles get retired in 09. But for most of 09, like, the X division is pretty, happening. Things are fun and stuff. When it gets to Nox and Leon's alt character, the division kind of dies a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jacob Trance actually brings back... I don't know if he brought it back or who brought it back, but I know that Jacob Trance wins the X title December 30th, 2009 at the Sensational Tribute show.
From Evan Knox?
No.
Oh.
Evan Knox is stripped and the title is retired.
Oh.
Jacob Trance defeats Sean Strider, Chris Baxter, and Judas Hollows on this Essential Tribute show.
Okay.
And he ends the year as the X Division title. Okay, I'm going to keep moving.
What is a Sensational Tribute show?
So that
No. No! Ah, shit! Go
What?
ahead.
Why did you scream?
Because I'm messing up his flow.
Oh, you said what was a sensational tribute?
What is a Sensational Tribute show? Is
So-
it just like, we have our great leader Jason Clinton Sensation, so we're gonna have a tribute show to him or something? I don't know.
I don't. I remember Leon saying, "Oh, can I do a pay-per-view?" I was like,
You sound like Pew if he was a schoolgirl.
if that
by
was
the way.
that was my Leon voice. I was he's like, "Can I do a pay-per-view?" I was like, "You do whatever the fuck you want. You do whatever you want makes you happy." And he said, "I won't do a tribute to you." And I was like, "I like, did I die?" He's like, "No." So I remember because I just remember it's this essential tribute, and it had like Santa Claus, like you see like the reindeer and stuff. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was, but yeah, a sensational tribute. I guess it was a tribute to me. I don't fucking know, dude, but I just remember it was like in late December. I was like, if that's what you want, I think I actually put it together too. I don't honestly remember if I put it together or not. I just remember you pitched it. I was like, if you want, I don't care.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have a tribute show, you might as well do your own tribute show.
Yeah, I guess. I don't fucking know. So that's why that was the thing. I really do not remember I don't remember the reasoning for it. Maybe because they just wanted content. But at this time, wouldn't this lead into 2010? Wouldn't this be a new game? Wouldn't this be 2K10, Adam?
No, this is the end of 09 and then what's going to lead.
No. He's saying it's a new game, and yes, the game's dropped in October, so absolutely it would be a new game.
Oh, right. Yes, it is a new game. I don't know anything about the game.
So
I haven't gotten
that's probably why. Like, I think so.
WWE was pretty good if I remember correctly. Like the game itself, I thought it worked online pretty well. I started playing online at that point, I think, but obviously not like OCW.
Yeah, so as far as I remember, like October was the deployment thing. So like somewhere anywhere between the like late October to like the to 2010 would maybe be a bit of an uplift potentially, just because the platform would be less of a ball ache to use and people might be excited about new content. But Adam, continue.
Okay, hardcore title. Just as bad as the tag titles. Just as bad. Maybe even worse.
Okay.
Vincent Valmont. All right, so in 08, Vincent Valmont defeats Parker Stevens, who is officially fired because he was unable to get to his record-breaking 19 title defenses. So the story around that was Parker was threatened by Jay. Hey, you're coming back to win the title. If you don't get to 20 defenses, because he had to break his record, if you don't get to 20 defenses, I'm going to fire you, because Jay was still mad about the fact that Parker vacated the title.
Yeah, we covered that last time, didn't we?
Right. So I'm just recapping. So Valmont is going to be the champion going into 09. So Valmont carries the titles into 09. He loses it to Mad Mike Morrison. Shout out to Mad Mike.
Woo!
And then Mad Mike vacates it a month later.
Who's that? Woo?
He vacates it 2 months later. Fine, I'll be fair. He vacates it 2 months later.
Sad woo.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Mad Mike again.
Oh my god.
Frank Smith wins the title in Toronto, Canada on a Riot. He defeats Blade for the vacated championship. I don't know Frank Smith all that well.
Yeah.
He then loses it to Wonderful Wesley.
Okay.
Who then loses it back to Frank Smith. And then Nate retires the titles due to inactivity in 2009.
I'm sorry. Because you just and Nate retires the title due to inactivity. This is the fourth now? The fourth. Is this the fourth title?
This is the third title
The
that
third.
has been
All right,
retired.
wait. So hold. I get. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
There is nothing more to go. So the X Division title, the Hardcore, and the Riot Tag Team Championships at some point get retired due to inactivity.
So the question that I have is, if a crux of the argument in 09 is like we don't get opportunities and we don't whatever. There's 3 titles that had to be retired. What the? I don't understand. I'm confused. That's literally opportunity right there. Like you have this 3 separate fucking titles. So I'm assuming everyone just like, I want the main title, brother. I don't need this enhancement shit. My God. Do you have anything to add on that? I don't know. Is that a proper analysis? That it's like go big or go home?
At the beginning of 09, there is a lot more community involvement than there is at the end of 09. By the end of 09, the forums are pretty dead, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Things are pretty dead. It is mostly alts that are holding down divisions here.
Okay.
If you think about it, there is the OCW title, which has original, regular main characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
The international title has a major feud brewing around it. Pride title is gone. The tag titles are alts. The X division has Trance and Aries at the beginning of it, and Chris Ryder, and then Leon's alt comes in, and then things kind of fall apart with it. Hardcore division is a weird collection of like, let's just throw people in here to see what happens, and a lot of these divisions are falling apart because there's just not enough viable contenders, and any of the viable contenders that we do have are just getting tossed up to the main event scene, or because 09 we're so desperate for content. And this is I am now finally going to answer
good segue.
I'm finally going to answer Bash's question here, and this is for like anybody who's listening to this. If you're still with us here, both of you guys can do this right now if you want to. Go to page 150 in the Daily Suplex forums.
Oh God. You should probably provide the link if we're gonna do real time analysis. Okay. Actually, you said 106.
I got you. No, go to page 150. I will link it in here for you right now. Anybody at home, do this. I promise you're going to get a fantastic read, 2 fantastic reads actually, and it is going to showcase to you the real shit that OCW is in 09. There's
okay.
2 big things here. Scroll down all the way to the September 11th, 2009. Once OCW, always OCW.
Oh, shit. Versus, right? The last post? Oh, wow. 8 pages previous. Ooh, this is delicious. All right. We're going to do interactive style, so by all means, go for it.
Versus says this. I'm gonna read off this like up to a certain post here, and I'll let you guys take over. Do I have to censor myself on any of this?
You should. The fact that you should probably, if something had to be censored, you probably should have said nothing. Now I need to mark this on the motherfucking time card just in case.
No. Well, this entire form is.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Don't even.
Okay, fine.
Good.
Rochburn, you dumb fuck. What have you done to yourself? You gotta realize, OCW, whether arguing, fighting with full-on hatred, there's nothing that will stop us from working together to take out the common enemies. OCW isn't just an EFED. We told you this. We're a community, a tight-knit brotherhood, if you would. So if you think for one fucking second that confiding in a brother who's having a bit of a falling out with us would be a smart idea, you useless fuck. Trips.
You should probably.
This is great.
You should.
This is great.
Rather than read it word for word, summarize what's happening, because I don't know what's happening. But this is delicious.
I'm gonna get through this part and then I will summarize the rest of it. Trips owned you. OCW owned Trips. Dragged you in and set your stupid ass up, and you fell for every little fucking setup he used on you. This is not true, by the way. Trips is actually an idiot and bumbled his way into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you undisputable proof, undeniable evidence that not only is Trips the fucking man, but Josie Blank is nothing more than he ever was, a deceitful, useful, using, bored, blank, fucking liar.
So what exactly is happening now?
Somebody comes to Trips and says, I want to kill OCW.
Oh, word? Oh, shit. What? Yo, I'm shocked. Hold up. I'm not in this thread forum at all. No one told me? What's happening?
I gave you the form, dude.
No, I'm in the I'm looking through the forum now. Continue story. I'm scrolling through now. Like T. I feel like Junko now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So somebody comes to him, and I'll reveal the name a little bit later if you don't remember who it
I
is.
did pose. I said, what fucking idiot. I'm sorry, go.
Somebody comes to Trips, and Trips has a falling out. Remember how I mentioned Trips is like, I quit, I don't like it, people are nice to me. He has a falling out, and he kind of, rightfully so, like, he's constantly poking at people, and he's not being very fair or very objective. He's being like me in 06 and 07, actually. I think that's fair. He's not being objective. So somebody comes to him and says, I want to kill OCW. I want to be the person that gets rid of it. And Trips kind of falls into it, and Trips is, I'm never going to be at the stage where I value Valmont as a champion. Like, the fact that Valmont is a champion just irks Trips so badly. And this person says, would you like to kill OCW together? And this person, like, it's been my goal from the start. I've always wanted to kill OCW.
Incredible. And
their plan is, you and I team up in the show on the boards, and we'll just make it hell for everyone. And Trips is like, I'm gonna entertain your idea for a second. If this was truly your intention, why did you tell me that you're not ready, and why on earth did you spend over an hour trying to get me to think that I was wrong before? So obviously an argument has unfolded with these people, and this person's claiming that he's trying to cover it up and he's trying to be deceitful, so whatever. Trips asks him, why would you want to kill OCW? This person responds, for spite, and says, the plan started in my first run. He says, I jobbed to Bold, and I realized OCW was for blank, and I decided to try and kill it. So, okay, this goes on for a very long time. You can read it. Everybody can read it at home. Essentially, they go back and forth.
Yeah.
And this person is like, I'm going to hack OCW.
Okay.
I'm going to use somebody called Hell Servant.
Oh, my God. I remember Hell Servant. Shit Servant. I used to call him Shit Servant. What a fucking, oh my God. I know who the person is. Continue the story because, so quick sidebar to show how benevolent I am. The person who's the I know the person now because I'm doing math, whatever. That person came back to OCW at one point too in the later future. This is to show how much I forgive motherfuckers, but continue. That or maybe I forgot, but go ahead.
So this really gets into like a poorly written spy novel. Like that's where it goes. Like
I love that. That's delicious. Political
it gets
intrigue.
to the point where yes, this person tells Trips, "I'm going to reward you if you help me." I can't say how. I can't tell you how. I can't say in this instant message for legal reasons. I could get arrested for what I've done.
Definitely could. I mean, I could shed some light on that.
Just let him finish. I can't. This is so stupid.
Let's put it this way. In order to properly kill OCW, we have to do it from the inside. And from the outside.
What's there to kill? There's like fucking, it's fucking UFC. Suck. There's nothing. It's like beating up a baby. I'm sorry. Keep going, Adam. Oh.
Before I continue, Jim, can you shed some light onto this? I don't know anything about the interweb spying that they're talking about.
Well, I mean, it depends on what they did, but like, you know, they're not
they did
wrong.
nothing. They did nothing.
Yeah, no, that's probably why. That's probably why. Like, because Guy's post. I'm reading Guy's post. And he's like, this is why I was right all along. That's why I refused to work with this fucking dummy.
I'm sorry, Jim. They didn't do anything to tell me.
But being like, on all seriousness, like if they had done something like that, they would be violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which is CFAA, right? Which is like US 18 USC 1030, if I'm not mistaken, which is a federal crime. So just throwing that out there too. Like if they had actually tried to do something like that, that would have been something that would have landed them like in prison. So,
oh my god!
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
This is incredible. Like everyone,
no.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But like no, this is what I do for them. So like yeah, like that would have been bad. Like especially if you got like the FBI involved and stuff like that, it would have been pretty crazy.
The funny thing is that like everyone here is like, I knew that motherfucker was a snake. Even Kareem just popped up and said, I hope he has AIDS. I fucking told you. Matt Wilson's like, I never trusted you. Well, fuck it. I quoted him. I don't give a fuck. I know you quoted him.
Let me continue.
Continue. I'm sorry. Yeah. This seems like it's galvanizing everybody, but okay, go for it.
Wait, no. Time out. Don't talk about that yet. I promise you. You're going to love this. I fucking love it. Okay. This person who's contacted him, and once again, I'm not saying his name for legal reasons.
That's hilarious.
The day will come. I will be the champion. And there will be a sudden issue with Jake.
Oh my god.
It'll be like no one was ever involved. And then Tripp's response. Do you ever plan to reveal that it was you? Surely that's part of the glory.
Oh my
of
god.
Course. And that will be the biggest swerve OCW will have ever seen.
Oh my god.
When it could have been so fucking obvious. Tripp's response. This would be the best heel turn in OCW history.
Oh my god.
You know it.
Oh.
All of OCW's history will be nothing but a memory in a flash.
Call back up, you stupid fuck. Oh my, I hate the internet.
And Jay will have no control over his contact. Except this Riot will be one RP, an out-of-character RP, the last RP to ever be seen in OCW history.
This is incredible.
Close scene. I'm not going to read the rest of it. I think we got the point here.
This is incredible.
You guys go ahead and dissect this for a second. I got to run to the bathroom.
Go ahead. So, yeah, I know that this is like a fucking topsy-turvy. So if you're still with us, thank you. This is a fucking emotional roller coaster of shit. I'm trust me, we'll try to bring it back. I'm just reading some of these comments, and a lot of people are saying I fucking knew this guy sucked. But one comment here is, ha ha ha, you effing pussy, gasoline, coke plus fire. How many times did I call this MFer out? How many goddamn times? And I got told, no, the kid, he's changed. Yo, it's just Parker in here too. I go away for 10 days and this shit happened. Damn, what a few days. I mean, it's looking like essentially this horse shit kind of galvanized the locker room and Pew's comment on the last page, Jesus wept, the best thing I've ever read. Yes, old post, yes, old me. Oh my god, yo, Dino, my best, another one, first step in e-wrestling, second step the world, goes to show some people really need to become sexually active.
Or they don't, because they don't need to reproduce.
Oh my god. Oh, hey, Amar comment, they all can't be studs like you and me, sex bomb.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh
I'm
my
back.
god! I hope you fucking. Oh my god! It's like all this. All right. So in my head, before you say anything, like this, just I believe there's just since this is September, the game drops in October. I'm assuming this helped galvanize the locker room and maybe turn things around potentially. Yes.
Potentially.
Absolutely not.
Oh. So this is like a defining moment where everyone's on the same page about fuck that guy, and I'm thinking, oh, now it's gonna be a new era, and you're like,
See,
nope.
but look. This is what happens in OCW though. There can be disagreements and things like that, but when it's time to come together for like big stuff, long term stuff, right? Like I think everybody does come together. And whether it's 2009 or 2025, I think we see that. You know, like it's all about the shield, Jay. We've said this on multiple occasions, right? Like
Jay
when the shield is threatened, you know, we all got to band together.
Oh my god! All right, so if we didn't galvanize together, now what? How does it get worse from here, Bingy?
Death.
Let me finish this up here. Okay, so the form goes, and you're right. It does seem to be the galvanizing action of this. People are popping up that haven't been around.
Yeah.
People are getting involved that haven't spoken much, if at all, in years. Hell, Nick Cage comes in and leaves a really sentimental post and stuff.
Yes, he did.
And
it was a great post.
Shout out to Nick Cage. Love Nick Cage.
His post was amazing.
Pew comes in here. Jesus wept. That was the best thing I've ever read.
That's what I just said. Jesus wept.
Dino Horse, you know, what I can only imagine is a very dramatic saying is first step. A wrestling EFED, second step door.
Yeah, I literally just, when you went to the bathroom, I was like, fucking Dino, some people need to be sexually active. I died.
So I want to float the idea that what this person actually did was not kill OCW. He actually rebirthed it unintentionally.
But Bingo said no.
No, okay.
No?
So this entire thing, it seems like it's going to be the turning point. But I submit to everybody a new thread. Okay, so same page. It's on page 150, and it's called.
You said page 150.
Page 150, same fucking page. It is.
I thought you said it was 105.
No, 150.
Oh,
150. So I posted that link to you. You got into the. That's all on page 150. I posted you another thread that happens exactly 1 month later. Exactly 1 month later, a thread is posted by Leon Valentine.
Riot canceled.
Page 150. It's called Riot canceled.
That's where Nick had the post. Yes, because not this first thread, the second thread.
It might have been.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, anyways, let me read this one now because it sounds like everybody is galvanized and pulling in one direction. We're all going to get our heads out of our asses and we're going to start being the community that works together. Instead, 1 month later, Leon posts this: Riot canceled one match and 1 match and 2 RPs. No, sorry, I know a certain tag match that should have been due with an RP. However, it is not. This one match that I have now will be on the Riot next week. A Riot card will be up later today. No PMs, no surprises this time. If this happens next week, the same will continue to happen. Riot will be canceled. If you guys are not going, I can't do it.
You can't do that. I'll do it. I got it. If you guys are not going to put in effort, me and Alex won't spend time putting up Riot. Ooh. Shout out to Leon.
But 1 month later,
this poor fucking guy, bro.
Yes. Hey, I said it to you. I went into your DMs. I'm like, you left Leon to die.
He was he was the best person suited for the job, and he was like, what the fuck? I don't know what the word is called at every avenue because people didn't respect him. But we can talk about that later. We have a lot to talk about.
You can use the term stifled.
Yeah, there you go. Stifled undercut. Is it undercut the right word? No,
I wouldn't say undercut. I mean, you could use the term, like I said, stifled.
Stifled works. There's other words to it too. Not usurp, but anyway. So 1 month later, instead of galvanization, we have a. So maybe he did succeed because we do have a 1 match Riot. All right, canceled.
If he had succeeded, there would have been no Riot. To be fair,
it was the Riot got canceled, so he succeeded. Holy shit! Oh my God! Put it into context. In 2025, there's no Riot because there's only one match. This guy drifter is Sakamoto.
Fuck that. I would personally be hunting down all the people who didn't do their fucking matches at this point, like I do for Ambition. It's an whole other sidebar.
All right, Bingy, take it away.
All right, this Nick Cage. This is all right. I was incorrect earlier. This is where Nick Cage pops up and he gives a very sentimental speech.
It was great.
And he essentially says, "Look, it's not OCF. It's not the game that's killing OCW. It is the people that are left in OCW that are killing it." He says, "Some people think everyone here owes them something. They think they are worthy of so much respect when they are basically just huge negative jackasses." He's talking very much about Trips right here, and that whole post was like Trips being, like, Trips is ratting this person out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trips was certainly considering it for a little bit because there's enough evidence to suggest that Trips was duplicitous and just as egotistical, and he was smart enough to realize this isn't going to work and this is a dumb idea. But I digress. Whatever. How does this hurt OCW? Well, who wants to comment on a show when these people will just flame it? Who wants to read the forums when they will just bitch and moan? If anything, it drives people away. Alts kill OCW. Why? Because you cannot focus on one character and make them interesting when you are working on 2 or 3 half-ass ones. When I had Cage and Takanashi,
you don't have to go word for word because there's on creativity. There's some stuff you need to skip on creativity. You got to definitely skip on some of that part.
All right.
But the creativity. Go ahead, Jim.
The point is, he's saying this is not a game's fault. This is not OCF's fault. This is the people here who just aren't cutting it.
So before you continue, there's a part on creativity that Nick hit that I actually like. He said, the people here in OCW are not creative when it comes to role plays. When was the last time 2 people got together on an old AIM and hashed out a cool story idea and made it happen? What can you do to make things interesting? I did can't mention that. I went from a super face to super heel and had huge feuds with faction mates. I kept my mouth shut when an idea happening so I didn't spoil it. That's what Jake does. I dressed up as a president for longer than 1 week to raise interest. There we go. I had best of 7 matches for the hardcore title. Put career on the line. Come on, guys. You are all wrestling fans. Think. That's important. Think. Cage originally had mutton chops and hair. I didn't change on a whim every 2 weeks. Remember, back in the day, people used to change their look like that. Cade used to go through entrances and fucking looks like water for chocolate. He's like, I had reasons. Have reasons to do what you have. Have reasons to do what you change. Have everything make sense. Hell in a Cell. Oh, here's a fun one. When I got Dimebag dropped to the second money bomb off the Hell in the Cell, I was in a coma. I had my head shaved. I grew a beard in the hospital for 3 days. Hospital change. Changed 3 after I was MIA. Devin. I was a secret member of the SWO. You see how it all builds character and it happens at appropriate times and is believable. Characters. This is important. I want to just mention this. Just whatever. All that's left in OCW are the second-tier characters. You guys couldn't do anything exciting when Nate versus Cage, AJ versus Fuckface, Sideshow versus Majin, Mad Michael Morrison, Steve, Bold, etc., etc. What makes you think that you can't not change a thing and suddenly handle what the top guys are used to? You all wanted the ball, and when it was left to you, you did nothing. You have to realize OCW takes time and effort from you because it's not about the game, but about the character you create. And if it's a AAA trip-off, a boring, can't say that, detective, or a Sting wannabe, don't do it. I had an original story about my character that would be used in and out of RPs. My character's origins were always present in my RPs, and I was aware of who I was and what I was building. Effort. If you do not write up at least one, if you do not write up at least 1-2 hours worth of RPs a week, you will not be a major player. I'm sorry, but it's true. Quality. And I'm just paraphrasing here, but he says, sure, you can be creative, but it also needs to be good. It needs to make sense. It needs to be realistic. Your characters are in a story you are writing. Cage was my leading actor in a play. I had it in my head that every storyline had to fit me, had to fit my personality. I had in mind. Cage was a face for a long time, but what made him a superhero was that he never was as pure as Nate or as lovable as Nate. It was why Nate never made a good heel. You need to create quality. Brainstorm. Bounce ideas around from people you trust. trust for feedback and listen to them. I don't know how many times Versus and Nate and myself would talk ideas on AIM, or Majin and I would chat about ideas about Steve. Creating ideas in a vacuum, they will suffer. 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 Attitude. Take it from a guy who's had a terrible attitude at one point. If you respond to threads like a dick, you won't help a single thing, and here's why. All you do is make new members want to leave. And then he goes on about merging OCW. But long story short, a lot of these things people apply now. Some of them don't apply, all of them, but you can see a shift in what was back then, what is now. You know, now we have content, we have segments, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, but, you know, people are working now. Bingy, back to you in the studio.
Hold on.
Oh, Jimmy,
I got a question.
back to you in the studio.
I got a good question. Did we ever get K D'Angelo versus A-Mart? Because they talked a bunch of shit to each other in this thread.
I don't think we did.
All right, well, I need that in 2025, Jay. Make it happen.
A-Mart's taking a break, 16, and KD hasn't been 16, around. Only shows up when big white women show up to Paul.
Okay,
so.
well, let's put Sarah Moore in the parking lot.
Put it in the
in order to lure him
to lure KD. He just shows up in the back. Oh. He just wanders out into the ring.
Maybe we'll throw Scotty back there too.
I fucking miss
throw all the big white women back there.
I miss fucking Kelvin. Bingy, back to you in the studio.
So this is 09. I don't know what more can be said about 09. I think these two threads they succinctly define what it was here. It's bad. It's not good.
Yeah, there's a lot left out, but there's a lot. I do know, like I said, one of the prime examples was that like Leon was undercut at every juncture with a lot of things, and I think that people didn't have respect for Leon for some strange reason. And it's not that he wasn't competent; he was trying his best, but it's just people don't like you. He just didn't have that respect. I'm assuming.
I gotta pause it. I'm gonna wrap up my thing, and I'm gonna say because I got something I gotta take care of that just kind of popped up unexpectedly. So let me just kind of summarize this and say a few little parting thoughts, and then I'm gonna let you guys wrap this up completely for yourselves.
You got it.
Big thing, King of OCW happened in 09. It was not supposed to happen. It was canceled, and then it was back on, and then it did happen. Aries wins it. Guy Fausto had won it in 08. Guy Fausto was supposed to fight Aries in the first round. Doesn't show up. Aries wins by default. Aries goes on to fight Trance. Trance loses by the chop of doom. He gets chopped once, takes the pin. Aries goes on to win the King of OCW in a very sham kind of way and stuff. It wasn't, storyline wise justified. Sure, that's cool, whatever. But
what's the justification, guy? I don't remember anything about that. I just remember looking at it back and going, "What the fuck?"
I have absolutely no inkling. I was going to ask you about that, but King of OCW happens. Aries wins it. He has two matches that essentially don't take place. He gets a title shot against Vincent Valmont at Summerside. He loses that match, very long match. That was a very confusing thing. Aries then kind of goes into semi-retirement for whatever reason. Awards-wise, if I was just kind of thinking about what happens here, match of the year, I think it's Dino versus Nate at Resolution 4. It was the best wrestling match I had seen. Heel of the year, I don't know. There's people that could be debated for that. Maybe Leon. I don't know. Face of the year, I'm not really sure. The one thing I do know is I would say Wrestler of the Year probably goes to Leon. Feud of the year, I would say goes to Parker versus Guy and their ongoing feud. So I just have some general ideas out there of what would happen and whatnot. I'm not going to put anything in there officially, but I do have some vague notions of what I think was the best of it.
All right, it's me and you on this convoluted mess. What did you learn? Because apparently you were also doing research.
I was. I learned that Discord feuding is basically forum feuding back in the day. First of all, like hardcore. Like I mentioned, K D'Angelo and Amart had a real back and forth at one point in 2009. It was like the end of 2009. They were talking some shit. Amart actually called K D'Angelo a broke ass RD, which popped me huge. Which is why I want to see this match. So And then basically it ends in the middle of October when K D'Angelo, I guess Raymart was on a break at this point. He's like, if you ever come back, I'll be waiting for you. Well, I mean, he wasn't waiting for him when he came back in 2023, so I'm kind of disappointed by that.
Well, to be fair, I think Amar probably forgot. I know KD fucking forgot. I don't know. I think the last bit I remember from. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tag both of them in the Discord and remind them that they have this feud going and that they need to finish it off. That 16 years in the making.
There you go.
So, so I learned that. I also learned, in terms of that. It's funny the way that alts were perceived in 2009, right? Today I feel like there's a stigma against alts, but I don't think it's nearly as prevalent as it was back then. I think that sometimes people make different characters to try and do different things. Like for me, for example, I made a babyface character because I wasn't a babyface with any of my characters. Just different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like there's so much venom in terms of alts and what alts are doing, and they're taking up time and stuff like that. It's really incredible to me to see that. And then there's like so many like flies in the like people who stayed for a cup of coffee in 2009, like Craig Casey is a name I don't see very often.
That was an actual person, like not an alt. That was an actual character.
Yeah, so like that stuff comes up all the time too. I think that the titles too, I think I can kind of see and don't get me wrong, I think you're a very measured person anyway, but like I can see kind of where everybody's attitudes for the titles came from, especially like maybe like Dupree, who came in not long after this and stuff like that. Like, because there are so many titles that are just do nothing titles that are just like, hey, here's your participation trophy. Now hold it for 100 days and do nothing with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think 2009 had a lot of that as well. And I think, like you said, that Leon was like the best person leaving charge, and I don't doubt that. But I think just 2009 overall was a series of comedies and tragedies placed together with one another. People thinking that they were going to take over and like destroy OCW because they had an axe to grind with you or whoever treated them wrongly, that type of thing. Lots of infighting. We thought that the end of 2009 was going to galvanize things, but then it just kind of like was like a short-term galvanization, and that was the end of it. And it takes until you get to like, Team Reliable, like Ambition 4 plus Trash and stuff like that. When we'll get to another future podcast, which I've also done some research on, asked some questions about stuff like that to different people. And it seems like it just kind of lulls into 2010, right?
Yeah, it was very very fucking tepid. I need if I can find out when Dupree joined, then I'll know when.
He said 2010.
He said 2010, but
I asked Kibby, yeah.
Okay, so that means that he wasn't around for the majority of 2K10 then.
SVR 10.
Yeah, so he came. So basically, they came in around 2K11 then.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I just fucking feel bad for Bingy because he did so much fucking research, and it's like there's so many fucking things to like add or expound upon that you really can't fit it in a fucking small podcast like Hardcore History.
We could literally do a whole ass documentary on 2009 and produce it.
Because what I remember from it is basically periodically checking booking and then just seeing the booking chat and people. There's always an argument. Like when KD was in the title picture, that was a big fucking to do. Guy was fucking really, really pissed off about that shit. And then I remember something happened with Leon and Jamie. Hold up, I gotta find this shit because this is what part of the thing that encapsulates that era, because Leon was basically trying his very best, and then people just did not give a fuck what he was doing. But you know what? At the same time, objectively speaking, him being in charge, him being a champion, and then on top of that shit, that would probably lead people to be like, oh, well, blah, 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 I should be able to do what I want because he's a fucking champion. Fuck this guy. Because, Leon is very passive. So, for example, you need, if someone's going to be the figurehead or whatever, then everyone has to be on board for that person, basically. You can't, if there's any doubt or whatever, then that is it is not going to be a good time for that person involved, because if you don't respect someone, you're not gonna, like, that's it.
Well, yeah. See, here's the thing, and like, when it comes down to it, a figurehead works if the majority of people respect the person behind it, right? And I think what happened in this situation for you specifically was, like, you were an absentee dad. So I think you had the respect of the early crowd, right? But there were always some people that maybe didn't necessarily respect you in the way they should have, right? And then when you go away and you install someone else to do that type of stuff, it becomes less and less, right? And then you get more and more people who don't know what OCW looks like with Jay in charge versus Leon in charge, right? So I think that kind of, like, snowballs that. Plus, OCW was only like 5 years old at that point, right? So, like, it wasn't like you have, like, the now where, like, if Jay was like, oh, I got to take 6 months off, like, I think we'd figure it out,
Yeah. So I found the Leon post. So this is from July 14, 2009. Leon goes, I keep having a certain two people aim me about Aries being a co-GM. Trans keeps coming at me about it on AIM, slightly annoying since I don't know what anything has to do with him. I don't reply anymore. I also think Aries being a co-GM is a bad idea. Him and Trance are already in a little group where they tell each other everything and others. I also remember when Trance was a temp GM, he went around giving Aries results and stuff and so on. I have no clue if that's valid or not. So to me, it's just a bad idea that Aries is too flaky to work with, especially for me. I definitely want a GM account, and I probably want to talk to you on AIM tonight or Nate. I think that's to me, and who the fuck is that to? I think that's to Nate and me. It's a big fucking thing. But probably. Yeah, like things like this is what happened to Leon often. And then you had the stuff with Valmont, and then you had the stuff with Trips, and then you had the stuff with K D'Angelo, and then you have Guy who people respected but wasn't necessarily like around. So like he's the fall guy. You just have to know who the fuck to put in charge. I guess at the end of the day is what I'm trying to figure the fuck out. But I just found it funny that he's like, what the fuck did he say? That little groups trying to tell me what to do. Poor Leon. This fucking guy never had a chance. That and Nate not being fucking around is like not the best. It's because 09 was dog shit, right? But we have such we're blessed with such a thick roster of competent or semi-competent. Put it this way, our worst roster member is still better than the mid-level of 09, or in some aspects even the top tier of 09, because
the flake rookies we have are basically like 75% of 09.
Yeah, we give Trips, like, Trips wasn't gonna go down as a great champion, but he was a great competitor most of the time, so I can't deny that at all. He was a shitbag on the forums, sure, but we had plenty of shitbags on Discord. That's fine. But, competitive-wise, he had that on lock. Did he watch shows? No, admittedly so. Did he, do content? Not particularly. But, Valmont, same issue. Like, these aren't, he's not a bad person, per se.
So Jay, if you were going to compare Trips to someone in 2025, who would you say he is on the 2025 roster?
That'll be offensive.
Well, I guess I'm starting shit. Sorry.
Oh, I guess maybe Jet Draven. That's not really modern, but that's that's the scapegoat character that we always use, because Jet was really competent. But the thing is, Jet wanted to be but he just didn't. I guess he wanted to do stuff, but I don't know. He's a very complex individual in my head in the character, because he mechanically was sound, but everything else just did not work at all. It just didn't. I don't know what to say. So I would say that. So imagine having that as the champion, and then you kind of get an idea. In essence, the quality of handler here is exponentially better by far and away.
Well, yeah,
the bare minimum here is a good video.
Creativity, the content in general are miles ahead of what it was.
Fucking eons ahead, bro.
And the amount of off the wall inane shit that I've read in 2009 in some of the RPs, where people just be going off in these things where if somebody ran that idea today, they would be panned universally in the Discord and asked what the fuck was wrong with them. You know what I mean? That's just the difference today. So again, it's ground floor stuff, Jay. It's just the ground floor in terms of what is acceptable production, what's going to get you over, I guess is the term I'll use, right? Whether you're heel, whether you're babyface, whatever it is is a lot more. There's a lot more work and levels to it than there was back then.
Yeah, I will always go with the adage that less is more, always, because at the bare minimum, you could always add to something later.
Well, no, I totally agree with that. I think like today's modern age example is like Cheryl Sticks, for example. You know, and her 90-second thing really popped me on the show.
I was
last week,
fucking.
you know what I mean?
Listen to word for word. She had a little segment. Sorry to cut you. She had like a little. She said something. I forgot what it was, but like it. I fucking when I watched it the first time, I was howling. Like what is it? Something about the vomiting into the cup, and then whatever about that. Like something about
they're reusable.
The reusable cup. And then she said something after that I just fucking could not stop laughing. I was like, you know, and you look at it, and then have the timer. I feel is petty but accurate. That's my kind of petty. So you know, shit like that. Like you have that. It's a memorable program. You also have to remember that, like, you know, this is week to week. So if you do less and it's memorable, it stands out more versus like if you, in the old times, maybe you would have one segment which stood out because the reason it would stand out is because it's someone doing one single segment. So that's why it stood out. Now, like everybody has a segment. So how do you make it stand out? Making it longer is not going to make it stand out unless it's really, really good or unless it really tells something. Like, for example, the thing with the shit with Quartz and Emp, like that's going to be like, oh shit. Like someone is going like the theory crafting on that is what I enjoy about OCW, because now as a character, as a handler, whatever you want to call it, I'm invested because like, oh shit. So now I have all these fucking weird conspiracy theories and all this other stuff. Yeah. How can it go? But that's when OCW is best, when you have questions. One of the points that I always make is the people that I guess I jive with, I treat way worse than the people that I'm indifferent to, which I should probably fix. It's a bet. But you know what it is? On that note, is like I feel that I have to, because then you have like 09 stuff. Oh, my fucking friends and favoritism and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, a Cody Rhodes quote comes to me. You're not going to come into my house that I built with, well, technically not really. Well, yeah, no, that I built with my friends and give me shit. And I've been doing that for a while, and I'm going to stop doing that. So like I need to value my peace, because if I don't value my peace, we have what happened in 2009. Well, 2009 was a culmination of things, because 08 was also kind of tepid towards the end and everything, and then the OFC or OC, whatever the fuck it was called, the UFC bullshit thing happened or whatever. But you know, a lot of times I want to dial back. And I don't, because you got like the people, everybody from the top to the card to the bottom. I'm not naming names, because if I name names, who's a name? There's too many people to name. Like, people do work and I want to represent. But at the same time, I need my fucking peace. And at the same time, I allow myself to be disrespected by people who say dumb shit. And then the people who ride with me are upset that I don't respond in kind. And then it becomes this whole big shift. So we're going to try to change things a little bit. And again, I'm not going to be disrespected in the house that I built. It's very simple, always. And it's not to be aggressive or negative, but like, if people are not happy, if things are making you stressed, if you need a break, you can take a break. But like, as you saw in 09, like, this is what happens when I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not fun. Like, you can't do what I do. You can maybe do it a month. You can maybe do it a year. You can maybe do it 2 years. You can maybe do it 3 years. You're not doing it 21 years, 24/7, 397, whatever the fuck. You're not. You're not putting up with all the different personalities, with everybody's bullshit, with everybody's little passive-aggressive remarks, with all the... No, you're not doing it. You're not doing what the fuck I do. And it's about time some motherfuckers need to learn that shit. If you're not happy, fuck off. Take a break. Relax yourself. If you good, be good. Do good stuff. Do good things. Take good feedback. Be better. Be good. Here's a fun fact. If it's like not good for you, why are you where you at? Like that's the thing too. Like, you can't sit here and have these weird opinions and then look at what's happening in the current climate and say anything negative. You can't.
Well,
people are getting opportunity. What's up? You cut me off on my tirade.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just to add to your tirade, some people naturally, I mean, psychologically, are just predisposed to put themselves in a position where like they're whining and complaining and stuff like that, and they want to do that. Like, I don't know why, but that's just like how people are sometimes. And I'm not talking about anyone specifically, right? Like, I wouldn't know necessarily, but like, I just know in general, sometimes people put themselves in positions where they're like complaining but it's like they're happy, but they're not. It's like a weird thing. I don't know how. Like, I'm trying to think of an eloquent way to explain this.
Well, we're not scientists, so we don't have. I don't. At least I don't have eloquence and shit. But it's these weird things that kind of, because at the end of the day, right? Like if you, I'm sure there's people that do what we do. Obviously, there's plenty of player versus player things. Like it's a niche of a niche, but like what we do specifically is a cut above. And I'm always gonna say that I don't give a fuck about cost shit either. Like what we do. I saw another PvP spot and they're like, oh, PvP. And then I'm looking at the comments for matches and I'm looking how the matches play. Like, and it's not fun. Our guys could do it, yes, but they're not gonna have fun. They're not gonna really be able to tell a story if they're fighting for their life on everybody using resilience and these fucking shitty metamac move sets where there's no mid moves in the front and shit like that. Like, no one's gonna have fun with that. You might, but at the end of the day, you're like, this is fucking Mortal Kombat. I don't want to play online. Fuck that. This is dumb.
No.
You want to tell your stories. You want to have fun with people you like or people adjacent. You may want to be challenged. You may not want to be challenged. You might want easy street. You might not want easy street. But at the end of the day, you want to do content that tells your story, your legend, your iconic moments. You want to make moments. That's what generally most people want. Some people just want to have solid matches week to week. Oh, hey, this is a fun match. I'm having fun. I'm doing, I'm being a wrestler or whatever the fuck. And that's fine. I don't care. My thing is that like this is a place that was built on spite, on blood, sweat, and tears, on thousands of fucking dollars. And it's about fucking time that I recognize that, and it gives people peace. The amount of people that I get random messages from, like yo, thank you, man. I thank you. Like, shit is shitty right now, but I appreciate this place being here because it's helping me, not worry about this bullshit right now. That's what that does for a lot of people. And I just do it, and I don't do it out of the kindness. Yeah, I don't do it out of the kindness of my heart, and I don't even do it to like. I don't give a fuck about like praise. Like you know me, when people compliment me, I'm like, shut up, don't just why? Because it's my job.
You're not one for the glaze.
I don't give a fuck, and by the same token, like when I do things, I don't give a fuck about a pat on the back. My thing is, I need the respect of my contemporaries because of what I do, and if your goal here is to get yourself over and not give a fuck about here, then you may need to reassess your situation. If your goal here is to make this place better, I'm with you 110%. If your goal here is to like not is counterproductive to that, then we're gonna have an issue. Look,
this whole entire thing, it comes down to it is what I don't think people understand is that when you raise the ceiling for the entirety of the Fed, you raise your ceiling, right? If it goes higher, you go higher. So that's always got to be something that people understand is that we've got to, as a group, try and raise things higher so that the people who want to climb, the people who are at the top, can push the limits, right? To make us, I guess I'll use the term limitless, right? So if you're not one of those people, then you're not doing your justice to OCW as a handler, as someone who's participating in the community. Our job as handlers in the community is always to try and make OCW the best thing it possibly can be, right? So we have to work with that mantra that it's got to be the best thing we can possibly make it for everybody, right? And then we can have our competitions within it about who's going to climb the top and scratch up and do all of that, and that's fine. But overall, our goal has to be the shield first, the person second.
Always.
I mean, like that's how it has to be. You know what I mean?
That's literally what the fuck I do. Mm-hmm. That's literally what the fuck I do. Like, there'll be people here that I may not be a fan of. I always say it different. Like, I don't flat out hate anybody here. Sometimes some people I go, you little motherfucker. Like, I'll be getting some messages. And I'm just like, in my head, it's like, I should just be real with you and tell you to go suck a dick. Well, maybe not. That's rude. Suck a pussy. Suck something. A lemon, a dick, a pussy, whatever makes you happy. I don't give a fuck. Suck a giraffe pussy or a giraffe dick. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is like, I don't, because that's whatever. Whatever. I'm an adult. But
you're walking the path of peace, Jay.
Yeah, I try. But like, if you look at the landscape and what's happened for the past couple of years, like, that's not my doing. That's the doing of the community, building or whatever the fuck. So like, just like OCW first. And if you can't get down with that, if you don't want to be loyal to that, cool, leave, fuck off. because I just like this idea of like I'm gonna do what I want and then I'm gonna ride into the sunset. Cool, good, ride off, leave, do something. Like, come on, be happy. I don't know, I don't get it. Like, I'm reading it, and the funny thing is that '09 shit. To bring it back to '09, that thing was that was actually fucking Dane, I do believe it was, and he still was in the title match in 2011. And he was still at Resolution years later. I totally forgot about that shit. Look at that. Look at B17's situation. At one point, he was persona non grata. He was banned, and he turned it all the fuck around. Like, everybody could turn it around, but you have to be able to turn it around, and you have to be able to be fucking an adult. I think the big reason with B17, the reason that it turned around from him is because I knew I could trust him, because he wound up fucking diamond out a thing where people were fucking spouting shit. And you know what is this shit? It was like from 2016 or 18 or whatever the fuck. And it was the same shit you saw in 2009, which is the same shit you saw in 2000. Like it never changes. The usual fucking suspects. It never fucking changes. So straighten up and fly right. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, it's a community effort, yes, but it is my baby. It is what I put my life in, and it is what we together built. But don't get it fucking twisted. Whether it's 500, or 50, I will be fine. Don't fucking get it twisted. Please stop fucking playing with me. Do what you gotta do. Let me act like people aren't playing with me. I'm sorry. Like, just, I don't know, do good shit, be good to each other, and learn to realize that sometimes this shit might be garbage, and it's fine. Just fix it. That's all. If anyone needs clarification on stuff that happened in '09, by all means. The premise of '09 isn't to like put someone's dick in the dirt or whatever the fuck, but it's to just give context of a very fucking mediocre period in our history, and you know why it happened. And a lot of times it is 100% on me also, but it's also on the fact that someone that was put in position was undercut at every possible opportunity for whatever selfish reasons or not. So I'll leave it at that. The community is what makes us and what breaks us. Quality wise, we are on another level. Work ethic wise, another level. I'm every week I am astonished, horrified, and proud of what we put together collectively. And it is a challenge weekly to put all of y'all horseshit in a contest that makes sense. I try my best. Sometimes I honestly think I do a horrible job, but I do the best I can with what I got. To quote Eddie Ramos, I did my best. And with that being said,
no! Come on, no!
What?
What? I missed it. I was hoping to be back in time for the exit.
Oh, you were time for the exit? You just started shouting. Jesus Christ. Yeah, is everything okay?
I literally thought I came in right as you were saying, we're done, goodbye, fuck you, good stuff.
We're probably, because I asked, hey, do you want to just recap this later? You're like, no. I was like, all right, well, fuck.
Well, okay, so there was a car accident outside my house.
Yeah, I know. Now that you say that, I just thought, like, yeah, Jesus Christ. Were you shouting for Dawn to come out and help?
No, she came and got me.
Oh, okay, good. She was like, hey, wrap it up. You're like, yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm glad no one's hurt. But no, the thing is, you did a lot of work, and I just feel like we didn't give it enough, like, thing. But there's just so much to cover, so it really couldn't be done. I don't know, dude. I know you did your best.
What would need to be done to recap? What do you need to be done to recap? Like,
what do you think? Well, my thing is, I'm having timestamps all over. What do you think happened to Leon? Is what I'm saying. Because we talked about King of OCW real quick, and I was like, I don't have any idea of what happened with that. And I just know that the only thing I know is from watching that, and then Guy saying, I didn't want to be in it so that someone else could win it, and that was it. I don't have any context. Maybe I got to talk to Jamie. What the fuck happened there? I didn't ask him. I should have asked him. So figure out what happened. I have no idea what happened there. And just what happened with Leon. Would you say that he was not respected, that he was stifled, that he was undercut, that whatever the fuck? Like, what is your grand summation of all this horseshit, and how could it apply to today? Is what I'm going to ask you.
Let me just focus on the Leon part then, because I think that'll be the easiest part to answer succinctly. I think it's pretty easy to answer, actually. Leon was put into a position that he was ill-suited for. The position of, like, being the person that's running OCW, essentially. Like, he's the person who's being the face of the company, so to speak. Mm-hmm. He was ill-suited for that. He was ill-suited for it because he didn't have a forceful enough personality to tell people, look, this is how it's going to be. This is what needs to happen. if you buck the system, if you buck the trend, then you're bucking the community, and you should not be involved. You should be suspended and stuff, or there should be consequences to your action. Leon was put into a position where everything is falling apart around him. OCW doesn't have many people there. I think he was very fearful of being harsh on people and then losing said people. And then when people leave, OCW would crumble under his watch. So he became very appeasing to Trips. He became very appeasing to KD, to Valmont, to anybody, to Jamie, to Aries, to anybody and everybody who may have came to him and said, look, this is what we're going to try and stop us, right? And he couldn't really get the no across. There are multiple people that I was reading through should have been suspended. There are multiple people who flaunted the rules, flaunted FPR, flaunted, the creation guides and stuff. Like, people should have been suspended. KD probably should have been suspended. Trips probably should have been suspended. I wouldn't go as far to say Aries and Trans should have been suspended for the summer side thing because
don't even know what the fuck that was about, dude.
I mean, that is, a story was told, and at the end, that's what happened. But there's people using pyro, and he's yelling at them about using pyro, and then they continue to use pyro, and that never stopped. There's rookies who are coming in. There's people who are getting title shots a week after they appear, which they may or may not have been alts and stuff. There's people who are saying really derogatory comments to each other on the forums and stuff. All the while, Leon is running from one fire to the other, and he can't do it. He's not able to do that. I don't think he had the stomach to do it, nor do I think he was brave enough to do it, because it came across as like people were leaving. This was a very bad place. Like, if he chases off 2 or 3 people, those are 2 or 3 people that could have been there and could have been putting content into the show. And nobody's really putting content into the show, but if you chase them away, there's no opportunity whatsoever. So ultimately, I feel like he was in a bad position, a position that he was ill-suited for. I don't think Smythe was in a position that he should have been in, ultimately.
There was 7 people in staff, and this is what happened.
There were 7 people in staff because not one of them could step up and say, look, this is how it's going to be. You don't have to like it, but this is what's going to happen here. So running through Smythe was very, like, he would pitch ideas, and I can see this. I would actively see this in chats and stuff. He's pitching ideas about himself. I'm going to bring back this character. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I think I should do this. I think I should be like this. He's actively always doing stuff, but it's always with the mindset of Smythe is involved.
I just said that too about fucking OCW or I said about OCW or yourself, and here we go with fucking Mr. Chocolate. Like, what about me? Go ahead, sorry.
It really was. And then Leon kind of became like that too. Like, Leon's ideas usually revolved around, like, I'm gonna bring Leon back again. We're gonna do this with Leon. And I don't really know if it was they didn't know what else to do, if they were that desperate, or if they just didn't trust anybody and they trusted themselves the most. Nate's on his way out. He's not really trying to be an active voice in OCW at this time. That obviously hurts. Guy is there, but you can tell he's not really there. Like, he's very hands-off. You're obviously hands-off and stuff. By the end of the year, when Trips kind of gets thrown a bone, I guess.
Why did he become staff?
I don't know. You'd have to ask yourself that.
Oh, no. When did he become staff? Do you have the date on that?
I don't have the exact date on it, but that's getting more into the 2010 thing. But there's a shift in terms of how people view him, and I can only suspect that the shift in how people view him is a result of him, helping to shed light on this bullshit that had happened, right? With that whole fiasco of trying to kill OCW,
I
right?
think that's why I made him staff, because he proved not to be a fucking whatever the fuck. That and maybe to show him, because a lot of times it's very much like, oh, word, so here, and then it's like, do like I did that playing time. I gave people responsibility. People like, oh, I want a gym, and like again, I hate it's gonna be like negative, but whatever. Aries eventually becomes a gym and then fucking flakes. It's like this is what you wanted and now you got it and now you can't do it. So what the fuck? But
I mean, those things happen
a
significantly
lot.
later on.
Yeah,
like we get to the end of 09 and there's like this open rebellion of the game's not fun. We don't want to be involved in this anymore. You think it's a galvanizing moment with this whole trying to kill OCW. Reality is it's not. The people that were at the helm couldn't drag people to be with them. Like they're trying to drag some people to join them at the top of this, and the reality is they were ill-suited for that. So that is ultimately why OCW looks like it's about to turn the corner, but then falls flat on its face. Because yes, there's kind words said from Cage and Versus and all these people, but those are not the people that need to say those things.
Yeah, they did their time already, basically.
They were done. They had held down the fort from 05 to 08 when they departed and stuff, and now we have this new crew of people. And they are constantly fighting amongst each other. Leon and Smythe can't get along. They can't agree on things. Trips is arguing with everybody. Guy doesn't like Trips, and Trips doesn't like Valmont. It is a constant... They are constantly trying to tear each other down in public and in the background. So
they're still fighting against each other. They're competing. But I guess that gives... And the matches are... Were the matches like any even? Well, it's a different context of a match. So in my head, I would assume the matches would be better because there's like real feelings involved. But
no, because those real feelings would turn into we're not having a match. We're just fighting. We're just gonna cheese it out here, and that is how you get the KD versus the Valmont versus the Trips match, where
my God.
It's not really so much of a match as I'm going to do whatever is necessary to win it. And Trips actually comes out in the forums and says, well, yeah, I'm a heel. Of course I'm going to do stuff like this. Flaunting the rules for the sake of trying to make your character better is doing OCW in such a fundamentally wrong way that you don't understand OCW at all then. Because you're trying to construct something, that can pass as a wrestling match. That can pass as something you see on TV. So them doing that, I actually got to the end of this. I'm like, I don't think there was ever a point where 09 could have been successful in any way, shape, or form because it was screwed from the get-go. With you kind of departing and Nate trying to not be actively involved and the people that were taking up the mantle not really being a force of personality to keep OCW running straight and narrow. There was really few opportunities where things could have been fixed, and even the one thing that looked like it was going to fix it failed to fix it because the people who are making the great point are the people who aren't even actively competing in OCW. That being Versus and
Cage,
that's
a good point. Fuck.
And Guy and whatnot. And I mean, you chime in, but you don't really say much, right? You're essentially in the background. You're a background player at this point, and nobody that is at the top of the card. Valmont doesn't step up. Leon did his best. The fact that you guys got through 09 with it
is incredible.
Is truly incredible. And the problem, and one of the most disappointing things of all of this is this carries into 10. This carries into 2010. Like this entire feel of OCW became very individual. Like, I'm doing this for me, and I'm going to try and make myself look the best that I can and stuff. Carries into 2010. 2010 is only slightly better, but 2010 has a lot of really bad as well, because we're going to get into the Mayhem year-long run and stuff. And people are still leaving. People are not engaged. There's still a lot of fighting. Like the amount of fighting that goes on in boards.
The frustration in your voice.
Well, it's frustrating to me because
you were literally like that up until like you got your fucking shit together, which is hilarious.
Yeah, because it's history repeating itself in such a way that when I read it, it makes me have like this sick feeling in my stomach.
you literally did it in 2016, 17.
I know.
Oh my god, the usual suspect. Continue. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you. So in 2009, this is, and by the means, cut whatever you need to make this all fit and stuff. But in 2009, you're seeing the same thing that happens in 2012 was like this rebellion, or 2011, 2012 of like days, you got this ambition. You got the ambition plus trash.
Yeah.
That come in and stuff, and they're fighting. Like, they're butting heads with the people that have been around for a while, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's that. And we'll get into that when we get into that, but you have this us versus them mentality. And so you have that in 2009 of the establishment, the people that have been here trying to do everything they can, while there's people arguing with them nonstop, arguing while on staff nonstop. Like, we should do this, this is how it should be, I know better. And then you see that again in 2011, 2012. And then you see that again in 2016, 2017. And now you see that in 2024.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. So maybe that's why it's so disappointing for me. That's why I can hear the disappointment in my voice. It's like,
yeah,
there's some people here that are willfully ignorant when it comes to how has OCW been around for as long as it's been around. Like, by no means are we even remotely close to 09 levels.
Nowhere.
Like, not even close. Like, we're not even. This is one of the better years in OCW history. It's just that you can kind of see some of those parallels. You can kind of see some of those history repeating itself. And for someone who's been through that, I'm like waving my hands in the air like, no, that path, very bad.
Bro, please.
No, don't go down that path. I've been down that path. I've walked down that path. I was the drummer for people.
The pit of danger.
On that path. I was like the drummer boy, like,
Oh, you beat that drum.
Oh my god, no.
You beat that drum.
Yeah, go into that chat, boy. And going into that chat and just, this is why I'm a good Christian man. That's all I gotta say. I probably put myself over.
So, like, I see that and I'm like, guys, whoa, hey, you don't. One, the grass is not greener over there at all. The grass is not remotely greener. Two, it's destructive. It, like, you will feel crappy about yourself trying to subvert OCW if that's really your intention and your plans. There very much is the authority and the anti-authority, whatever context or whatever names you want to give. There very much is this lack of respect and unity and cohesion. And I find it funny that it's happened before. You can go read about it. You can go see it. And I'm reading some of this stuff, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, I said stuff like that. Yeah.
See, I mean, like I've said over and over and over again, it's hilarious in OCW how in many ways history repeats itself, right?
Which is why history is important. Yes,
which is one of the reasons we've been sitting here for as long as we have talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And the amount of time that you put into it, because history is part of what makes OCW attractive, though, and what it is, right? Is that there is 21 years of history, and that we have this deep, rich history and tradition of things that other places just simply don't have. They pop up a title, and it's like, I am the longest reigning PPW champion of all time at 100 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It just makes me feel gross to go. I really dislike reading 09 and 10.
Yeah, I know you were in your bag. Like, so with 10, to bring it back to 10, we'll go. I like these deep conversations. I'm probably gonna split this in two and mention and put a car crash noise for episode 1 at the end, so we know. Yeah, because we're going to, but you know what? The good thing is we have this brace of time, so this doesn't have to come out this week, so I can piecemeal it out and edit out anything not inflammatory, but some people don't like the truth. Like, the truth
Adam
with me is
Adam used the pass, and Jay is going to edit that out just for the
No,
record.
he didn't use the pass. Don't do that. I use the pass. I'm trying to recraft some of that forum bullshit. But no, like, I know that with 2010, I think that's when someone came back. Well, whatever. Fuckface came back, and he's like, "Oh well, it's so I'll bring God." Ooh, so I'm gonna say this, but I want to preface this that it's not the same. It's just similar. So with 2010, like 2009 is a shit show. So in 2010, Fuckface comes back to bring stability in his way to OCW. And to be clear, not comparing the two at all. Just be clear with that, please. I don't need a fucking long email about that. But yes, because he wanted to being champion for, you said 200 something days, right? He was holding it down, but he was holding it down, yes, but it was still like that provided like an anchor, but then it also helped kill the division again, like 09, because this time, I do believe this is the time when we had the super heavyweights were faster than cruiserweights on top of hitting harder, because cruiserweights had in MMO terms they had more damage per second. So a super heavyweight, they'll hit you a couple times and then you'll take super damage, but a cruiser could just fucking piece you up and they would get the advantage like that. So that was this dummy's idea, is to make supers faster than cruisers, and that led to one thing. But he provided, I guess, normalcy or stability in this. I hate saying that in this case, but by doing so in 10, that also helped kill the division, because nobody wanted to step up to fight him, not because he was good at the game, but because it was very much expound or provide your feedback on that. Bingo. Am I wrong or am I correct? Anything? Yes, no, maybe so.
Well, you're not wrong, but in order for us to talk about 2010, like it would take, like, it's another episode.
One. Okay,
it's a complete other episode, and the reality is 2010 can probably get lumped in together with 2011. I think 2010 and 2011 really work well with each other, because even in 2011, you're going to see Trevor McManus as the champion again. You're going to see 2 vacated world titles. Yeah, no, you do. You're going to see Mayhem as a champion multiple times.
Yeah.
You're going to see Trevor McManus again. You're going to see 2 vacated OCW
Valmont. We see
titles.
Valmont again, right? No? Yeah.
No. No. He will be. I think he's there and challenging.
Okay.
I don't think he wins the title again, and I may have missed it, of course. But the point is, in 2010, you put 2010, 2011 again, and I know that's the year that Tiberius Dupree and
they came at the end of 10, but yeah.
I know that's when they start to pop up, but they're off doing a different show, right?
Yep.
And that show takes a while to take off, and they essentially tell you, look, this is bad. Like, we're gonna do this way, and they get it right.
Yeah,
they get it right, and things get turned around. But the turnaround of them fully holding all of OCW back together and on the right trajectory,
2012.
It happens in 2012.
Yeah.
So that's why you can put 2010 and 2011 together, because even though that's when they've come in, it takes them some time to truly get things working in the grand sense of, you start to see legit title holders, legit title defenses, consistency with that. Like in 2012, you're going to get to Aries holding the title, Dupree, Parker Stevens, Paul Pugh in 2013. So you get the consistency and the good things that you're looking for, but it takes time through 2010 and 2011 for those things to get to where they need to be. So that's why 2010 and 2011 can be put together.
Yeah, that works.
Because you're going to see the Sensational Crane.
Yep.
You're going to see vacated titles. You're going to see fuckery, and the games are going to be challenging enough, right? So those two work really well together from everything I've put together. So when I left, and I know this has gone on so long, and I do apologize.
It's fine. It's being split up. Get it out.
That's
fine.
Cool. But like when I left, I was trying to think in terms of like, okay, what was good about 2009 and where would I rank it overall? So I maintain that 2009 is the worst year that I've ever read. That I maintain that 2009 should be considered a shining example of what is truly terrible about OCW and
What can be.
what can be truly terrible about OCW. The most consistent division was the X division, and there's a trading of titles back and forth for quite some time and stuff. The OCW scene is in general really tough. And having gone through 09, I've gotten to the point where I now realize that comparing 09 to other years is really tough. But the best way to do it is to take a look at who's at the top of the card. And 09 has so few people at the top of the card that you could legit look back and say, hey, these are good quality people. That it doesn't change 09 being the absolute worst. Throw in all the fuckery in the background. Throw in the fact that people are not doing matches. Throw in the fact that matches are getting canceled, or the fact that there's literally postings of cards saying, hey, we will take 2 free matches. Just do it and send it, please. We'll take the best of it, please. And then shows are still getting canceled. Highlights what OCW can truly, or what OCW can fall to if people are not diligent and doing the work necessary to be successful. So 09 for me remains the worst ranked year. But the problem is, I now look at 10 and I realize 10 is really bad too. 10 is not very good.
No, it's not.
And I have to get through 10 now. And I've started working my way through 10. And I hate it so much because I have to get through 9 to get to 10.
Yeah.
And all 9 has really done is made me dread going into 10 because I now look at 10 and I realize, oh my God.
It's a little better, not much.
Not going to be good. So right now, 2008, there's 20 ranked. There's 20 seasons, right, that we can rank, right?
Yeah, roughly.
So number 19 is 2008. Number 20 is 2009, and I think 2010 is probably going to end up right there next to it.
Wait, what's 19?
2008. Yeah.
Wait, so 2008 is worse than is worse than 2010?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're okay. Got you.
Before I completely rank it, I have to get through it. I think they're probably all going to find themselves in similar positions.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that 2010 can be as bad as 09.
What about 2015 though? Because that was
just shut up. I'll get to it.
Man, shut up is crazy.
All things considered here.
Oh shit!
You reappear at the end of 09. You come back. You get involved again. You start saying, okay, look, this is fucking stupid. We're not going to continue to do this. You or whoever's in charge at the end of 09 say, look, we're taking a break. We are not competing. 09 ends really early. 09 ends.
That's why we had the sensational tribute.
Yeah, 09 and the game and everything ends pretty early. The last Riot gets canceled, and then there's talked about Riot happening again, and it doesn't happen because people are like, we do not want to play this game anymore. So Riot gets canceled October 11th, 2009. There's an attempt to have a show, and it fails. There's a card posted. It doesn't happen. The next show that happens is the sensational
tribute. Nope.
The next show that happens is in December 2nd. Yep. So you guys go on break a little early. You take quite a lot of time to get things rolling again. First card gets posted. And then in 1 month, you guys get going here. The sensational tribute is kind of like the big hurrah back to it. Some things get, a lot of things get posted. There's people that get released and stuff. Aries gets released December 6, 2009.
Why?
Details are sketchy, but the former OCW International Champion was issued his papers by Alex Robinson, citing that Aries has created an unsafe work environment Following the Aries Smythe bout, Alex Robinson was said to be furious.
Oh, that
So
all right. That feels more K-Fizz than thing.
It-
Then again,
it
I
is
can't
K-Fizz,
tell.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay,
That sounds like a word.
although I will say that at least at this point, I think it's K-Fizz. But I do know at some point I would also like announce to certain people like if they're banned, I would just say they're fired. So, but I think in this case, it would be K-Fizz. Continue. Sorry.
No, that's fine. The point is, when you return, there seems to be the return of the K-Fizz. Like, stop having arguments in chat. And as a matter of fact, there is a post there's a post that says, "No more public bullshit." You tell your staff, "No more public bullshit. Knock it off. Arguing in the forums in public is wrong. You don't fucking do that anymore. You're done with that. If you do that, I will fire you."
Yeah.
So
look at him.
I mean, you come out and you tell them, "No more of this bullshit." And at this point, Trips is licking ass, and he's like, "Oh yes, of course, yeah." No
yes. Oh my god.
Smythe is gone at this point.
Yeah.
He's been removed and stuff. Guy's not really around much anymore. I don't know if he's on staff anymore. Versus is kind of starting to fade away here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nate is pretty much gone at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So it's essentially you, Leon, Trips, and like two other people that I can't remember the names of. And you just tell people, look,
If it's
we're
Vic
not gonna-
Vimes, that's
we're-
Guy.
Oh, that is okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's
All
Guy.
right, so, yeah, it's Guy. Okay.
So he stopped competing fully and just became staff.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
So you get to the end of the year and you're like, all right, no more bullshit. You guys stop arguing in chat. No more of this stuff. No more putting yourself over. Like, the storylines can't revolve around Leon's coming back and Smythe is coming back, or like none of this, right?
Okay.
And that is kind of the saving grace of 2010. 2010 is really blah, like really, really blah so far from what I've seen.
Like what Cage said, like be creative, but not everything is great. So
right, but
yeah.
it's not. But there's less arguing taking place.
Yeah.
They're still arguing. Don't get me wrong. There's still people that are arguing, but discussion starts to rise up again. There's much more involvement with people speaking on things and how things are going. But you're still having to stop some bullshit here and there.
Would it
now
be
and then.
safe to say that it was more productive than 2009, but the content itself was mediocre?
That would be a really good way of saying it.
Gotcha.
So ultimately, where is 2010 going to fall in this? Less fighting will be great to see. But ultimately, there still is people that are pushing against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just
Who?
not really.
Who do you know?
Who do I know off?
No. I mean, not who you know, but who's pushing? I don't remember.
Well, Valmont. This is when Valmont starts to kind of, like in 2009, Valmont is attempting to be a unifying force, right? Like he's trying to be the guy, right?
Yeah, locker room leader.
In 2010, he gets much more aggressive. Like, no, this is stupid. I don't like this. And you can speak on that if that's actually true. As to, is that going to be the consistent persona that we're going to see from him through the rest of the year and stuff? But he starts to push back a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he won the OCW title twice in 2009. He never won it again after that. So that might have had something to do with it, too. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Right. Trevor has to be reined in a little bit because he gets put on staff at some point, but he's very, you guys suck, but I'm the greatest kind of thing. So he gets reined in pretty quickly on in the entirety of it. So yeah, there's KD is still clashing with people.
So in KD's defense, KD was he played like shit, but no one took the time to talk to him like a human being, so he continued to play like shit. So if you notice, well, you're not gonna notice, but like when the Ambition people come in, there's a little clashing with KD, but eventually he gets kind of put into the fold somewhat, almost, because like they sat him down and talked to him like a human being, and they were like, you can't do that, and he's like, okay, sugar booger, and then like he slowly starts to improve little by little. Because the funny thing is, because then you fast forward it. At one point there was night, like I know that before we died, with 2K15, he had fought Trance on Riot. Trance was the OCW champion. He beat the shit out of Trance, and then in my head I'm like, oh shit, we can do Trance versus KD down the line, because that'll be a match. And then like the game was trash, and we just said, all right, well, fuck all that shit, and we're done. That was a 1-page ride with 2 matches, I do believe. But I'm sorry to digress. I'm just saying on KD's front, that is what I can vaguely remember. Trips, I think Trips thing was more what's it called when you wanna like I think the reason I think part of the reason putting Trips on the staff was, number one, he dimed out the stupidity, which I always appreciate, because that shows loyalty to OCW. I'm very big on loyalty to OCW, like huge. Like loyalty is a commodity that cannot be cannot be renewed. Like if I know you loyal, we good. Leave it at that. And then I think it was also to show this motherfucker that it's not easy, and I think he may have learned that lesson or not. I'm not sure, but I digress. Continue, Bingy.
I mean, there's not much more to say, because we'll talk about it in greater detail when it all comes back. The point is, there is less fighting, but it becomes more, God, what's the proper term? It becomes more subtle.
What becomes more subtle?
Like the fighting, like the infighting,
okay.
calling people lazy, trying to suggest that you're above other people, that this person doesn't deserve this or deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as aggressive and as forward-facing as 2009 is.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely... The quality of 2010, at least to start 2010, is really low, and it's not generating much in the way of buzz. Like, people are talking about very few things. There's more discussion and stuff, but it's very superficial. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha.
it becomes very superficial. People are kind of going through the motions for a little bit. Like, that's why I said we can put 2010 and 2011 together, because there is an injection of excitement and energy that's going to show up on the horizon, but it shows up on a different show. Not the main show, not in the main event, not in the OCW title. And this shot of adrenaline that's going to be received is essentially going to give to a new era of OCW, because I do consider a change of era taking place in 2012.
Yeah.
I know 2011 is the one that they're like starting to become more prominent, but it's in 2012 when they become the main players in OCW that things start to pick up.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point to end on. So what I remember from that is that, because you mentioned when you came back from the thing that like there's always been like eras clashing and shit like that, but in this what you said that is very pertinent, not in 2025 and 2024, but back then, is that when the other era came in, they, as you said, got it right. That's the important part. They got it right. So every other time, even including 2025 or 2024, whatever you want to call it, 2022, whatever, wrong. But this one, right, 110%. Because what I do remember vividly is that the notion of OCW The Shield, cool, but that people try to like insert themselves, with that era to, I guess, leech off of the budding success, because I was I was a little trepidatious with certain things, but that's what kind of reignited Fausto as a GM as well, because of that show. And like people would try, like the top of the card would try to be like, the idea was, oh, we're gonna bring these guys up, but it wasn't. It was basically leeching off of them, which is funny because they got fucked over by Fuckface, by Dane, by Dane. Leon Hart was the only one who attached their wagon to some of them, but did so to like help legitimately push them. Like he became like like a manager type for them or whatever, like that, like for whatever was happening. I think it was Lotus or some shit at one point, but he was never the focal point. He was like the guy in Legion of Doom, Paul Ellering. He was providing like face value for them, like legend value or whatever. No, he wasn't legend at the time. I think he became in 2014 or some shit. Whatever. But he was like the fate, and then other people would take that and then like try to beat them up or whatever to make themselves look better. And I always, that's another reason why I always appreciate Leonhardt, because he, while maybe not the best suited for a lot of things, like he at least always tried to have the best intentions in mind, which is something that should be spoken about. And the ambition people could tell you, like, yeah, Leon, for all his whatever faults he has, and I don't think it's many, because he's one of my favorite handlers and a top guy in my opinion in the era. He was always in it for like, how can I help them look better? RD at one point too. RD at one point I think took an ass whip from somebody from I think that group or whatever, or some shit like that. He's like, yeah, whatever. You know, if it helps you guys. When there was other people that use them to try to get themselves over, which is fucking nasty work. I'm like, you've been here like fucking 5 years. You trying to use these rookies? That's crazy. That's nasty. The nastiest of work. But I digress. And which shows me like who you are, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like you, I don't know, but I remember that distinctly.
It's all hard to contextualize. It's hard to put it into focus because we're not talking about 2010 or 2010, 2011, 2012. It's hard to put it all into context because there's a lot to talk about within that, and how do they rise into prominent positions. But I think the next time that we get together and we talk about it, I think that is going to be the conversational topic of, yeah, things may have been more sanitized in OCW and things may have been more under control in OCW through 2010, but it is very much a lame duck. It's like something that has come out of hibernation, is trying to get its feet underneath it again.
Yeah.
And it takes some time. And it takes like 3 years to fully see the work that people have put in, which is another reason why history is important, because it doesn't happen instantaneously.
Nope.
It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time, which is why when you look back and you're like, okay, who are going to be the people that are running things and doing things and driving the content forward 3 years from now? That's why we've always cared about who's next, who's going to step up next, who's stepping up to do this next. How do you feel about this? And when you can look behind you and you can say, oh, there's some good names back there, and you can feel confident about that, that's when it becomes a lot easier to be a vet and step away.
Yeah.
So ultimately, if people get upset, this person's around, this person's still around, this person's still around. Well, this person's around because they've been around OCW for a long time. They've enjoyed it. They've had fun. And chances are these people have helped make OCW continue to run. Be respectful of that. Your day to shine is going to happen one day. You have to make it happen. They're not just going to move aside and allow you to just walk right into it and say, yeah, you're the guy now. No, you're not. You have to take that. You have to make that happen. And the fact that there are legends and vets and rookies and people that are all working together right now, the fact that OCW is in a strong position of characters, that's a good thing, because it means if you get to the top now, it's even more meaningful. If you made it to the top in 2009, 2010-ish, it doesn't mean as much. It does not mean as much as if you climb to the top of the crap mountain. If you can get to the top of things from 2020 to right now, and even though I talk about dissension and blah, 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 and I'm worried about these parallels and stuff, once again, nowhere close to 2009. But if you can get to the top during this time and during a good period of OCW, you're fucking golden. You've done something right. And if you can't, well,
try harder. If that's what you want to do.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep trying. If that's what you want, then keep going. But the fact that
I said this earlier, the ground floor raises every year, right? It raises every couple of months, whatever it is. Like, so what you needed to do now to get into the Hall of Fame versus what you needed to do in 2008 is different, or 2009 or 2010 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it curves. Look at pro sports as an example of this. Like, there are plenty of people who don't have statistical accomplishments that modern players have, but the game is different. And OCW is very much the same way. There are plenty of people now who are considered legends or Hall of Famers who maybe don't have the accolades, but for their time frame, they were important. You know what I mean? And they had impact, and their impact was felt. So I think that that's like kind of a way to look at this whole entire thing from a historical perspective. Is just like you have to understand that we always are going to grade on a curve, and it's the curve of the time frame.
That's a very excellent point. Like, and then to take it back to the fucking whatever the fuck is called OCW Midnight is what I'm calling it. Fucking like I was Devin made a he came in and Pew was there and he came in and like fucking did this whole like
at like 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern.
The thing, like his energy like uplifted the shit out of me. Like I haven't felt like that in a minute. Like just what he was saying to fuck about OCW and Pew in general. Like, and it just like all the points he was making, I was like that this man gets it. Or the other time, the other OCW Midnight where I'm sitting in the thing and it's like all these people here are not in the main event, but this is like who we have. Like these people can and will carry as necessary. It's the look at the fucking the war game shit. Fucking just look at the war. You can build an entire league around the people in the war games. Old people, new people, even stupid Baker. Like look, we are in a good place in every position. Women's, Pride, OCW, CCW, International, North American. Even the white boys in the tag, we are in a good position everywhere. Like we are good. It's fucking fantabulous. It's a wonderful problem to have. Like for the most part, maybe with a little nudging here and there on like, hey, that's dumb. Don't do that. We're good. There's no like it is in no way like you said it already, but just to put it, hammer it down. In no way, shape, or form are we in a doldrum. Like everybody's doing stuff, and for the most part, it is at bare minimum pretty okay. Like it's not mediocre, it's not tepid. It might be excessive, it might be indulgent sometimes, but for the most part, it is at minimum at 3 stars, at maximum 4.5 to 5. It is a great time to be competing here, and the ceiling is so fucking high. Even our upper card or mid card is fucking like rookies are fucking putting on bangers. Like there's room to move and grow around, and I don't necessarily agree with the any given Sunday analogy that Jake loves to pitch. Like, oh, everybody's the same level. No, I don't think so. And that's fine.
I'm going to be honest with you.
What do you think?
Cut in here. I think that most people are on the same plane. I think you could say 75% of OCW is on the same plane.
Okay.
And then there's probably a certain group of people that, most of the time I'm not going to use, I guess I could say they perfect their craft in a sense. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And for this, time frame and era, the way the game plays and all that stuff, like they've got what they got to do, and sometimes it's like, look at Pew as an example. He makes the joke that he touches the game once a month, but he picks up the game once a month and then puts on a match of the night every time he shows up.
It's
you know what I mean? It's
hilarious.
It's like, but he understands the game enough. He's played it enough. He understands his character, the mechanics behind it, and how to produce, right? I think that the any given Sunday thing is, from a competitive perspective, not a lot of people put insane amounts of time into the game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think the majority of OCW doesn't practice that much. So when you get on and you play every once in a while, it's like it could be anyone's ball game, right?
Fair.
But I also think there are those people who really put time into their craft and have that, edge that maybe people don't want to face them, or, like they got like the Melon effect in a sense where like he's just so good at, and coordinated. And it's amazing that like, that's not an any given Sunday thing. That's a Dragana goes over 10 out of 10 times, brother. Thanks. So, but I think that the majority of OCW, the vast majority of it, any given Sunday is a great thing. I just think there are some exceptions that you're going to see in those situations where most of the time those people aren't included in that. So maybe you can make it the rule, but there are a couple of exceptions.
Fair enough. But like, I just, from a match stand, like I like watching the matches. I find them mostly I find them pretty much like I haven't really gotten to a point where I'm disgusted with matches. I'm pretty, at the minimum, like, oh, that was all right. Sometimes I'll be upset at little things. Go ahead, but
I get mad at the Iron Jaw after signature. That really frustrates the hell out
Well,
of me. I
that's
hate
more
that.
of a mechanic thing. Like I think with Iron Jaw, like I like a good timed Iron Jaw.
No, so do I do too. If you lose the strike battle and then you pop Iron Jaw so they can't just like, barrage you, that's fine. I don't like.
Or
I've
if
said
if
this
your
before.
day,
Not selling. Yeah.
you don't like so you didn't like the one that Bolek did to Nate.
No, I don't like. I don't like the one that Junkie did to me last week. Where like I hit her with the horse kick and then she fucking hit the Iron Jaw, and I was like, like. For me, those are the big moves. Signature and finisher moves. Like if we're having this conversation,
sure.
that shouldn't be something you do that after. Like if you get your head slammed into the turnbuckle or whatever, and you get stunned, or someone barrages you with a bunch of strikes, by all means, pop Iron Jaw.
So that sounds like a personal thing, but like let me ask you a thing. But like in that sequence, was it the day's pop to counter or to hit? Because I think using it like you know how you hit a signature and then you fucking stunned and then like they're gonna hit you with the finisher. I think that if you do that, you get you stunned for the whatever, and then like you pop it so that you're no longer stunned, and then you reverse the finisher. I think that's cool as shit.
I mean, yeah, that could work. We just have opposite perspectives.
No, but I mean, like if you pop it and then hit them with yours, I think that would not be great. Like to quote Bolek.
Well, I mean, you can't instant recovery just because you're Iron Jaw. Those are two separate things, right? Iron Jaw just removes your inability to reverse, or your inability to reverse, right? You still are like in a dazed state. You can't move even after but popping Iron Jaw will help you recover faster.
So what was the one that Bolek? What was the one that Bolek did to not get to pop a reversal?
I don't remember which exact instance you're talking about.
Because he got cranked up, and then like Nate was going for either the sig or the fin or whatever, and he popped it, and he was able to counter it.
I think what he did, if I'm remembering correctly, was Nate hit him with like, what was it, like old school or something like that, where he jumped off and he stunned him. But it wasn't like I don't think it was a signature maneuver. And then
I think it was a big. I think it was a big fucking. It was clutch.
It was a big move. But I think Nate was lining up the spear, and Bullock popped Iron Jaw late, so everybody thought he was going to get hit. So it was more on his end, where he flared the dramatics. You know what I mean? Which
jump in.
I'm pretty sure he popped it after a finisher and stood up.
No, it wasn't a finisher. It was a sig.
Okay.
I know that he was basically gonna get hit, cracked again, and he popped it and countered, went to go hit his and got countered, and then something else happened. But in that usage, I didn't hate it because it was whatever. Go ahead.
The point is though, this is diverting.
Yeah, we diverted a little bit. Jim's like, listen, my grievances. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not about your grievances.
Yeah.
The point is, we have a long way to go before this history project is done, but we're through the worst part of it now.
Yes, thank God. It only goes up for the most part. Well, no, it goes down for a little bit.
No, the rest of it becomes much easier to talk about.
I can't imagine how this is worse than 2015.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Barely exists.
Yeah, that's why.
It's going to be easy to get past 2015 because there isn't really much of a 2015 or 2014 to 15, whatever. The point is 2010 is more consistent, is easier to read. 2011 is more consistent, easier to read. 2012 becomes much easier to read because we are getting away from the 4 shows a week kind of thing. We're getting much more into a focused, consistent basis. We're getting away from matches not happening on a regular basis. We're getting away from the, hey, post your match, we'll take whatever it is. And sometimes that ends up being a title match, and it's hard to keep track of that things. We start to get away from the circus show that is early 2000 or early OCW. We start to get away from the Wild Wild West, and we get into a much more consistent sports entertainment programming. And that makes it much easier to keep track of and to understand what's happening throughout the entirety of the show. Now, yes, we're going to get to some time in 2016 and 17 and 15 where there's a shithead, and I'm, drumming to that shithead. But the point is, I was around for all of it. I know.
Yep. That's going to be delicious.
So I'm aware of the shit that I pulled and I'm aware of what happened. So it's easier for me to put it all in context and say, okay, guys, this is how this happened. This is what was happening during this time. 2009, I'm reading from the outside perspective. We're starting to get into more of a modern day, simple to read, simple to understand. People are around to answer my questions. We are getting away from the, hey, do you remember what happened? No.
Thank God, because it's very difficult.
Jay told me there was a podcast where they had apparently that's up somewhere if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's on OCW, the Ambition podcast.
Yeah, the Ambition.
So if you wanted to listen to that in the background while you were doing your white guy things, you could probably get some more context on stuff. That might help you.
But I'm very grateful that we're getting away from that whole legends and lore thing, because that was sure I made a ton of mistakes. Probably there are probably things in here that have been missed because it so really old, is. Yeah. It's a 3-ring circus of some things show up, some things were left off. Circus.
I love it. 3-ring circus.
It is, and we're getting into a consistent show,
easy to follow, understand. Yes.
Yeah. I can say, hey, Dan, do you remember this event? And it's
I don't remember anything, you pig.
That's probably the
Why are you talking to me, you pig?
But there's enough people that have been around that I can ask and say, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember this? We are getting away from that. There's not that many people from 05 to 09.
Give me the mythology portion of it.
Yeah, that we're getting past that point. So I'm really looking forward to being able to ask more people's opinion, because I was really dependent on Nate Ortiz for a lot of things. I had to go back to him and be like, hey, Nate, what happened here? I don't remember. I'll go find it.
I don't remember.
I can't find it. Like, I know it's so tough. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll start going a lot faster.
Yeah.
Through this, I think, like I said, putting 09 and 10 together, and hell, even 11 together, we're gonna move pretty fast. And I think in general we're gonna move a lot faster. I'm really looking forward to getting into 2001 through 2002.
2001. 21.
Oh, sorry. 2021 and 2022. I'm really looking forward to getting into those because I wasn't around for those, really. And I have ideas of what happened here, but those years are kind of almost...
Well, you can find some stuff on the forum for that, too. I can specifically point that out.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I can go to YouTube and just follow YouTube through all of this once we get up to 2018. So I'm going to go faster. I look forward to that. I hope that we don't lose too many people along the way. I know this one has gone.
Well, this one I'm going to have to split up. I'm definitely probably split up and edit and whatever, and I'm going to have to go back and make sure. But it's fine. I like shit like this. This makes me happy.
But it had to happen because 2009 is really the worst low point of OCW, and you have to take a look at every aspect of why it was the lowest, so that you can understand what do you have to avoid to ever have it happen again.
Yeah, me not being in charge is how it happens. Sorry, you ain't running shit, motherfucker. Fun fact: if I'm like in a perfect world, oh hey, let's have Jake do it. Jake likes everybody, and everybody likes Jake. This motherfucker, by his own words, would last probably less than a month before you motherfuckers drive him off an edge or a cliff or something like that.
Jake's been in leadership positions I've seen in other places, and he does his best, and he's a good leader, but he doesn't want to be a leader in that respect. So that's what it comes down to, because he always does the job for a period of time and then finds a way to pivot out of it.
Yeah, because he's a smart motherfucker. He knows his fucking strengths. Fuck that shit. Yeah, so
the point is you're
stuck with me, motherfucker. Yeah. We're done. We're wrapping it up. I wanted to thank you for coming back after the car accident, and thank you for doing all of this fucking dirty drudgery work. I hope we did as best as we could, but I don't think we did. But that's just me being whatever. Jim, thank you for being a sassy bitch all of a sudden. That is incredible. I hope you and Junkie have beef. Speaking of Junkie, shout out to fucking Toronto Smythe. That was fun.
No,
I know I'm joking. Relax.
No, but before you do all that, I got no beef with.
Do Junkie. All that is crazy. What are you trying to say? Trying to say instigating is crazy.
Yeah, you're an instigator.
I'm not an instigator. I'm a fucking procrastinator, and I'm a maker of moments, and I make people great.
See, at least lean into your promoter gimmick, Jay. I am an instigator. I'm a promoter.
No, it's just I look. All I gotta say is that I did some shenanigans, and someone was like, "Yo, thanks, man. I got you later." Like, yeah, you welcome, motherfucker. You welcome. I know play motherfuckers like a goddamn fiddle, but yeah, no. Only I can do this. Fuck you. I'm the best. This is my place with my friends. Eat a dick. I am the greatest of all time, the hardest working, the most underserved, the disrespected, the apostle, the greatest of all time, and then some. And I hate my life and everyone in it. And I think that I don't know. Yeah, whatever. We'll see you on whenever the fuck we see you. Thank you again for everything. And yeah, no, this community, for all its faults and all its greatness, is number one with a fucking bullet. Ain't nobody touching us. I don't give a fuck who they are, call, PvP, whatever. Nobody works harder than us, myself included, because I work hard, but you motherfuckers also work hard. Everybody. Even the people that stink still work hard in the paint. Everybody works hard. Even the rookies. Motherfuckers are using phones, tablets, fucking Chromebooks to do videos when other people can't even be bothered to record their matches. Not OCW, because even the slowest person in OCW can record their shit. So again, shout out to each and every member. If you want to know by name, go fuck yourself, because there's too many names to name. Y'all all fantastic, despite my ramblings and musings. I'm proud of each and every one of you for being a hard group of hard-ass motherfucker workers. And like I said, get on the ship, get your mind right, or what is it? Leave, follow, or get out the way. You ain't leading shit, so follow me and get out my way. All right, that's enough. Thank you very much, Bingy. Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you very much, Nate, fighting his children. Not literally fighting, but just metaphysically. And now I go to edit and mop and prepare for the slam of the summer. So whenever this comes out, Bob's your uncle. Thank you. God bless. Good night.